Welcome back to, whoops, I forgot to do something, sorry, I'm a bit of, I'm a bit of, everything set up currently, which is a bit annoying, but yeah, no, I've got everything set up now. Cool. Welcome back to Shadows of New York. VTN Shadows of New York. Again, we're just gonna get right back into it. It's a visual novel, so a lot of reading. I've got a drink to make sure my throat does not get too parched and destroyed, because it takes like an hour of recovery after streaming these kind of things. So we're just gonna jump straight back into night 4. This is like roughly 15 nights. We're making good progress. Yes, I forgot I ended on a void because it was like a good place to end it last time. We're here. Oh, Katharina. She thanks the chauffeur and lets me out of the car into the quiet neighborhood somewhere in Queens. Seems like you're in a rush. I couldn't stand the crowd. She's honest, probably performatively so, just to get you into good graces. Well, it's working. And why is that? In my experience, gatherings like those always embed a boring, packed mentality. All the familiar lies we tell ourselves to justify lusting for more, repeated and nausea, lusting for more, repeat ad nauseum. Yesterday, you said. Speaking of lies, you seem more honest. But yesterday, you told me not to rush. And I stand by it. Do as I say, not as I do. That's the best advice I can give you. I definitely need more advice than that. Back at the R-hole, you said something about guiding me, but I have zero ideas what to do. None whatsoever. I had a few necessities arrangements to make over the phone before we got to ensure your pretty little head stays attached to your neck. Now, for now, anyway, I'm grateful, but I still feel a way out. I still feel way out of my depth. I need to know what to do. You used to make a living as an investigating journalist, did you not? Investigate the murder. In TV shows where investigative journalists get too close to the heart of political incendiary cases, it rarely goes well. A cat's head on the porch, a bullet to the head. So, are you afraid you might be a pawn in the game you don't understand? That your elders consider you a disposable asset? That a single wrong move might cost you everything you hold dear? That sounds right. That sounds about right, yeah. Well, by the sound of it, you understand your situation perfectly. Don't belittle me, I need your advice. Be anything you want. Don't be boring, Julie. If I wanted to belittle you, I would have drowned you in platitudes long ago. Know thyself, believe in your strength, trust no one, act confident, turn the chessboard around and read your opponent's mind. Read Sun Tzu and quote him incessantly. Say, do you feel better now? Can I ask you something? Seeing as Mia is still not here, of course. Do you know who killed Baron Callahan? I haven't the slightest idea. Were you emotionally impacted by his death? Not at all. Did you know him? Only passingly, I'm afraid. I expected him to perish sooner than later, so I have never bothered to improve our relationship. Why are you helping me? Am I? That remains to be seen. What do you mean? You do not want a painfully honest answer. But I do. She stares down at me. Her inevitable tone makes it impossible to guess what she's feeling, even more so than the mask. When I look at you, I see someone pitiful, someone whose hunger is purely biological, just an animalistic rush. When I saw a budgeting plan to put you in a situation that is beyond your capabilities, I offered my help. I was curious to see your true colors reveal themselves firsthand. When everything is said and done and Callan's killer is pointed out, will you be a whimpering animal or a victor taking the spoils? I cannot wait to find out. I don't know what to say. Is she provoking me or... I should be any second here. You have one more question. Who is Maya? Who is Maya? She shakes her head, half disappointed, half amused. Really, how boring. Look behind you. There is your answer. A woman around my age emerges from the corner of the street. Oh, it's full of some. She had obtenebration, but she acted like she was called a Malkavian. And considering I think I know Catherine's loyalties, probably a La Sombra. I've never met her before, but if I had to describe her in words by her aura alone, I'd guess the words would be permanently angry, even more so than your average Anarch. Okay, no, it is Maya. Actually, no, it's Maya. Huh. We met last time, sorry. No, she's a Bruja. You must be Catherine Weiss. And you must be Maya Morg. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. The pleasure's mutual. This your girl? Julie Saoski, the La Sombra Primogen. The La Sombra representative. I correct her automatically. At this point, it's a habit. Good. If you're a Primogen, I might have tried to kill you here and now. Is Talk still on site? Nah, told him today I'd take it from here. By the end of tonight, he needs to look at like a neutral candidate for the leader of NYC's Anarchs. It's gonna take a lot of driving around and negotiations. How did you react to finding Calane's remains? He hasn't exactly elaborated his feelings, but I expect he reacted the same way every true believer in the cause did. It's a complicated mess of all the possible feelings under the moon. So he was the first one who's seen on the murder site. So you're already calling it a murder site. Does Ivory Tower know something we don't? It's not the official position, but I expect a lot of them think it's Talk who stood to benefit the most from Boss's death, and it sounds like he's quick to jump on to new opportunities. You don't know him. Yes, but I'd love to meet him and ask him some questions, especially if he's the one who found the body. Well, if you're gonna meet Talk at all, it won't be tonight. He's too busy. As assigned to investigate, I won't be able to do it properly if I'm not able to ask questions to a key witness. I'll arrange for him to see you this week. This week? Are the tensions a little too high for delaying an investigation like this? What Talks works best is our best shot at making sure they won't get hired, so boo fucking who. I'm his right-hand woman though, so you got any questions, direct them to me. Maybe the two of you should head to Kanan's office. The discussion there does not seem to be going in the right direction, not particularly interesting one. You're not coming? Talk and you are the only ones who have their work cut out for them tonight. I trust you can take it from here. And Mia, be easy on her. In slight different circumstances, I expect the two of you would have ended up on the same side of the barricade. Uh-huh. Take care. She heads back to her vehicle. Well, follow me, I'll show you his place. The 19th century style of office, classical, wooden, smelly, a stuffed air of books, old furniture, and dust covers much of the fragrance of decay, but not all of it. This is the first time you've seen remains of a vampire who met his final death. I heard stories of really odd kindred coming to dusk, but that's an exaggeration at least. It didn't happen here. When kindred die, time catches up with them. If you offer me right now, I'd probably turn into an ugly, leaky corpse. So Calain is well over a century old. It looks like he's a dapper mummy. Not a great way to be described. A desecrated body and a heap of musty old clothes. All that is left of the mighty boss Douglas Collan, Anarch Baron of New York City. Hang on. Sorry. Just doing... Needless to say, it might be a little hard to establish the time of death, or any of the causes, especially as his grab doesn't have anything obvious damage. What a great place to start. Have you already found anything suspicious? Nothing you don't see in front of you. Uh-huh. The door is the only point of entry into this room, right? Yes, unless you count the windows, but nobody except for Callan knew how to operate those. And they don't let air through or light through. Hey, what's up? I'm sorry I didn't see your message there for a second. Metal blinders on the windows facing east. The only modern element of the room sticking out like a sore thumb. They look automatic. Was the door open when Tor got here? Well, that's one of the suspicious things. It wasn't. It's as if Calain locked himself in from the inside. A closed room murder, huh? There's some glass scattered on the floor, I point at. Could that be from the window? I checked it from outside, it's in perfect condition. So what's the glass? I have no idea. Why does it seem like she has her suspicions, but is remaining uncooperative because, fuck off Camarilla scum? Because that's exactly what it is. I check the next point of interest, a safe wall, surprisingly large. I play with the lock a bit. What's the combination? Callens, what makes you think I know? At least I tried. The desk with nothing but an envelope on it, nothing inside. I check the drawers. Every single one has been thoroughly emptied. I don't know what I expected. Is this how anarchs go around securing crime scenes? Were these emptied before Talk arrived? I don't know, but I wouldn't accuse him of tampering with evidence if I was you. Well, thank you. The decor of the room is pretty minimal, so there's no many points of interest that could illuminate the case, starting from the getting obvious. I point out a painting on the wall. Of course you have no idea who that is. Calleen's ancestor, I guess? I'm out of ideas. Everything I look at feels like another dead end. I'm frustrated. I feel as I've failed investigating before it's even started. There must be something more. I start walking around trying to find every single clue. My eyes just watches me indifferently. Give me anything. Anything, goddammit. Anything. A shadow blinks in our existence near Calleen's remains. I freeze in place. Oh yeah, Tenebration was wrapped up in oblivion, so now you can see ghosts. I'm afraid to speak up, so that I don't startle it. Whatever or whoever that was. Are we done here? Doesn't seem like Mia noticed. Just give me a moment. She groans under her nose and goes back to messaging someone on her phone. When she does, the shadow appears again. Once again, blinking in and out. Could something be there? I approach her clothes and start searching for them for a clue. Maybe they missed something. Getting desperate, huh? Just being thorough. You've searched for Bastard like 3 times. We've searched for Bastard like 3 times. You had nothing of interest on him. How about this? A small card, barely noticeable, looking a bit like a shopping list, is drove deep within an almost invisible fold of the fabric. I take it out and show it to Mia. Huh. You didn't plan it there, did you? No, did you? Shove off. What's on it? It's a list of 4 names. D'Angelo, Hope, Agathon, Tamaka. Any idea what this is about? Beats me. Those are the names of the coterie from the first game. She's lying, but I don't care. Tomorrow night I'll meet up with Kadar and ask him to help me figure it out. Think I'm done here. Don't let the door hit you on your way out. Guess she sees me as nothing more than an enemy agent. Well, when will I get to meet Talk? If, and that's a big if, he will agree to meet you on a one-to-one basis, Catherine will let you know. He probably won't let a loyal Camarilla lapdog like you see him without oversight anyway. Camarilla lapdog, huh? It's a risky play, of course, it might backfire, but maybe I'd benefit from if I put my loyalty to the court into question. Nah, not worth it. Not worth it now. I don't really care about Camarilla, but like, there's no point. Playing for both sides sounds like a recipe for trouble. Too risky and stressful. Pass. Well, I see. We'll have a good night. Wait, trait updated. We have traits? Julie's traits. Loyal to an end. Ah. Oof. It's getting late. Or early, depending on how you look at it. Once I leave the Carline's office, I head straight to Dakota's apartment. I tried to sneak into my bedroom, but she's up waiting for me. How was your night? Shit. Tomorrow. What happened? You look like something the cat dragged in. Tomorrow, I promise. But I'm worried. Dobie, tomorrow. She gives me a concerned look, then closes her eyes and slumps her shoulders and frowns. Alright. You're the best. I pitch my black room and throw myself onto the bed. Responsibilities, mistakes. The way I feel will feel too slow to react to any of these properly in these situations. I don't want to think. I want to turn my brain off. I want to drift into the void. Into the void, into the void, into the void. You have received your first trait. Some of the choices in this game will push Julie towards different ways of thinking, which will have a lasting effects on her throughout the story. You'll see a brief pop-up on the top of the screen to see it every time you receive a new trait. You can always view the traits in the log, access through the top left icon. Remember that ruthlessness is the mark of a true La Sombra, but you might walk another path to reach your destination. Always told you to make it big. Get real, those assholes are just using you as pawns in some stupid fourth-dimensional chess game. As opposed to keeping you off the chessboard, don't be a half-glass empty kind of buzzkill. Watch me make a scapegoat. Watch me make a scapegoat or something. That'd be exciting. I could write a book about living in the 21st century Lee Harvey Oswald. Come on, don't joke like that. I haven't killed anyone. Julie, honey, neither did Oswald. Yeah, right, I keep forgetting. Stop wriggling or I'll mess up your face. Sorry. I'm always obedient when she's busy working on my makeup. It's hard to take care of your appearance, especially your face, when you can't even see yourself in the mirror. Not that I've been particularly good at it, but Dakota doesn't seem to mind. I'm her golf dress-up doll. Her presence in my own life is one of those few good things that my sire provided for me before fucking off to Chicago. Normally, I would find myself a ghoul, but many of our clan, including myself, finds the ideas of ghouls distasteful. We're cat people, not dog people. We don't want mindless, faceless servants. We want companions who rely on us, desperately having, in theory, the free will not to. That's a bit of a change. The kind of relationship I have to Dakota would normally be a break of the Masquerade's rules, but rules are different for kindred who are the Camarilla adjacent, even losers like me. Simplified here, but my sire made it clear that her child would not own slaves, and that was the end of the discussion. To be honest, I think the court mostly agreed to the request because they wanted one more thing to blackmail with me, just in case. What would you do in my place? If I had to investigate your elite's wrongdoings? Yeah, I'd probably just look for those rich fuck pedophile rings. Look for some asshole who mentioned pizza too suspiciously often. See who's powerful friends in Manhattan jail, stuff like that. Oh, come on. Now, I'm serious. Search for the deep roots, and a lot of smaller crimes will get solved in the process. What is it with you and your conspiracy theories? What do you mean? You just told me your bosses are having eyes wide shut eyes, and suddenly you don't believe the rich people pedophile rings? Because they don't exist in World of Darkness, surprisingly. I don't know if I want to know. My point is, you act as if the conspiracy theories are real. Like, you can't possibly believe all that shit. Half of it doesn't even make sense. Well, you want an interesting answer or a real one? The real one should be more than an interesting one. She removes her brush from her face and gathers her thoughts. Everyone's lost nowadays. Just look at the world. It's drowning in the fact that failed to cohere a single convincing narrative or story that resonates. The corporate media wants you to believe the imperial thinking, but it always fails to deliver moral or metaphysical truths, and people desperately lack those. So what did? They turned to conspiracies, and suddenly they're able to navigate the world. And why is that? Because conspiracy theories give them the emotional truths that serve as a compass. Is Bill Gates trying to insert satanic microchips into your body? Probably not. I hope not. Now, is he a terrible person? No idea. There's an ample evidence that might be the case. It's in his ruthless business strategies, the company that he used to keep the philosophies he follows. People look at him and they feel he's fishy, so when the media presents him as a genuine or a savior, and I post that he wants to put the mark of the beast in my body, they choose to believe me. Because it makes moral, emotional, and metaphysical sense, and ultimately, that's what matters most, the end. Okay, I get it. Wow, I'm 99% sure that this is complete bullshit, but I'm buying it. No, she's explaining that the reason conspiracies catch on is because they make emotional sense in people's lives, not because they're actually true. I mean, it's totally misreading most conspiracy nut jobs I know, but it's an interesting and fun look about it, so I don't really give a damn if it's true. See, that's my idea. I get it. You get it. You came up with the monologue all yourself? Oh no, I read it on Facebook. Oh, figures. But just make sure, vaccines are okay? Well, as far as I know, they don't cause autism. Good to hear. Anyway, I'm done. Anywho, I'm done. You're the best. Yeah, considering how many times I've done makeup on a dead body, I'd probably get enough job experience to be a mortician by now. That sounds like an exciting career, but in reality it's probably the most boring thing under the sun. Yeah, I like my corpse talkative, pounty, and self-loathing. Shut up. The carcass will be leaving now. It's got a job to do. Go get him, Tiger. First thing I need to do is meet up with Kadar tonight and report to him. I hope he knows how to guide me out of this mess. He should have time for me in an hour or two. In the meantime, I suppose it's time to find What's the most dehumanizing word I could use here? Nourishment. Quidar told me I need to quench my hunger. Less often if I didn't smoke. It kills you, he said. But to start killing itself, your organism must pretend it's alive, and that uses up precious vitae. But I love cigarettes. The way they smell, the way they burn, the hot ash falling from the top, the sound of the lighter, the way they kill you, of course. And I guess I need some tactile connection to who I was back then when I was alive. Okay, New York City, guide my steps. Show me which one of your children who I should drink up tonight. Okay. We'll go into this person. Because this person is the person from the first game, and I want to see if there's any hints at what... Any hints at what the deeper story of the city. No blood, no matter how exciting it is, worth suffering through the noise. Something terrible must have happened to the previous DJ. It had to sudden and unexpected for them to hire this amateur under the wire. Zero ability to read the crowd, no sense of flow, as if that constant flashing wasn't migraine-inducing enough by itself. Not that I remember how an ordinary headache feels. I know the hunger though, which is why I'm here tonight. A purple-haired girl bumps into me, heads down, tears flowing down her cheek, hands trembling. As much as I understand it, I don't think it's the guy at the turntables that makes her like this. Oof. I'm so sorry, She bolts before I can say a single word. Well, who am I to blame her? Tactical retreat probably feels as good as an idea. The trace of cheap booze in every potential vessel is faint, but ever present. At this point, the smell of it was coming to me. Come to think of it, I can barely remember how alcohol tastes. Maybe I should remind myself. Nah, that's dumb. But the bar's pretty free for people at the moment. I get closer and take a peek at the drinks menu. There are some goofy sounding names, especially from a kindred's perspective. Put the menu back. Most of my king can't stomach liquor. Any fluid other than blood or food, really. I've got no reason to believe I'm different. I close the drink menu and pass it along to some yuppie drunkard. He seems overjoyed and the bartender dismay. All orders the fanciest drink on offer. The music abruptly stops just as I step away from the bar. I can't see the booth, but the crowd's reaction tells me all. I need to know. Looks like we have a new DJ. The vibe immediately improves. Hallelujah. But pleasant moments never last. Somehow, a well-worn dude on the wrong side of 40 decides to hit me up. Eyes me for a brief moment, slightly too late for me to outmaneuver him. Strangely, there's no lust in his gaze, and yet he seems predatory in his prey. Shit, could be the rumored diva's delight, a kiss addict clocking me as a bloodsucker. You come here all alone, sweetheart? I can't do a good voice. I can't pinpoint exactly what it is, but there's something irksome about the way he carries himself as he approaches me. I begin to feel fatigued, like he's all of a sudden drops the atmospheric pressure. Glare him until he goes away. I give off a peculiarly hateful glare, but I find it weirdly spurnous to keep my eyes on him for longer than a few seconds. There's something about him that ruins the little composure I have, and I think he knows that. I feel spiders crawling up my spine. Is there something wrong? Here, let me. Hands off, asshole. Dominance. I can barely focus on his eyes, but he freezes in place for a moment. Hey, Stallion, how about you go bother that guy? He struggles with my chaotic command and gives an unsettling look, but in the end, he seems to do what I wanted him to do. He approaches some metalhead, who immediately turns hostile. The metalhead's first punch breaks the guy's nose. I don't want to see the second one. Time to bail and not look back. Right before I reach the exit, a purple-eyed girl from earlier bumps into me once again. This time, I know it's not a coincidence. Wait, please. She seems startled, but gives me a pleading look. I saw what you did to that man. Are you one of them? What are you talking about? Who's them? She bares her teeth and taps the side of her neck. Oh, I get it. So you're the diva's delight. She blushes innocently, like I caught her stealing cookies. Yes, it sounds silly, I know, but I thought it'd attract some of your kind. I've always been told I taste good. Would you like to try? She looks at me the same way a junkie who hasn't had a hit for a while looks at a syringe. You You know too much. There's no way you don't have a patron of some sort. Her eyes tear up again. I do, but maybe I don't. I don't know anymore. He showed up whenever he wants, then disappears for weeks. I don't know his name. We were supposed to meet here tonight, but I guess he didn't show up. The girl keeps talking. Now that she has found someone to open up to, any instincts she might have had to remain secretive is gone. Makes you wonder who thought it was a good idea to breach a masquerade for her. Before him, I used to have a caregiver. She is one of the divas too. She was exceptional, noble. I think she cared about me in a way. She always complimented the way I tasted. Would you like a try? She clings to my arm like I'm Jesus Christ or Kurt Cobain at the same time. It descended from heaven, excluding to give her misery bliss. I can't help but feel some disdain. Please, I promise I won't disappoint. I know I won't be. I'm too hungry for that. But I also feel like to pretend like I'm something better than hunger from time to time. Yeah, we'll feed. The hunger gets the best of me, but somehow I don't mind. This is what she wants, isn't it? A quick look around, nobody's paying attention. Why would they? We're just two random girls who seem to be into each other. I gently grab the back of her head and put my lips close to her neck. She visibly trembles with excitement. I bite down, her body's soft, then I drink, savoring each slip. She really tastes incredible, like an unfulfilled promise, sweet innocence. As soon as I'm done, she loses her footing, weakened and undoubtedly relieved. I help her sit down on the floor. She smiles at me, joy glinting in her eyes. Thank you. I really needed that. My name's... Don't talk, just rest for a while. I'll leave her alone in a state of bliss. She doesn't seem to mind. It looks like I've done the right thing, right? I leave a booming sound of a club behind me and get on with my night. But no, left at my old dead drop point reads Bunny as a reporter. Shit, could it be Woods? Long time no see. What has one goes to Christmas past? Samara's asking to meet her. If I'm not wrong, and celebrities petition would have an odd choice to secret rendezvous. Here's providing some useful. Let's go see what this is. Bunny as a reporter. Honestly, sweeping through the Evergreen Cemetery in search of Nigel Woods was the last thing I expected to be doing tonight. And yet, here I am, the past refusing to let it out of its grip even for a day. Hell, a black limo ran me over on my way here. Can I just catch a break? Ha ha ha, I wonder who that is. Sorry. It takes me less than a few minutes to find Nigel. He's standing next to the gravestone of John Bunny, one of the most famous actors of the 1910s. Why here there exactly? Well, the man is paranoid, which is why we were forced to come up with such an unpredictable method of choosing a rendezvous spot. It has an ambiguous enough to seem incidental to cordial onlooker, but reasonable, uncomplicated, so that the dumbass couldn't mess it up. So we decided on a silent film actor. Actors. Whenever he wanted to meet, he left me a note with an obscure movie title. Then I had to look it up, who starred in it, and make my way to that final resting place. Yeah, maybe it feels like somewhat goofy and unnecessary, but it's also fun. And ridiculous. Wood's ridiculing Wood for his paranoia would be a classic case of pot cooling with kettle black. There he is, idling his way on his smartphone, rapidly swiping left with noticeably increasing frustration. Too many girls who actually know what they want from life in a row, Nigel. Don't worry, I'm definitely not that type. When he sees me, he reacts as he's just seen a ghost, a regular comedian. The man holds a few feet away from me and crosses his arms and gives me a dirty look. What the hell are you up to these days, Saswix? Too busy for your old pal? You never write, you never call. He puts on his this completely unconvincing frown, but quickly loses it, bursting into sincere laughter. Shit, Jules. I'm not gonna lie, it's good to see you. Looking good, gal. I mean, you're still all doom and gloom and even paler than usual, but I always had a soft spot for your bony ass. Come here and give your uncle a hug. Give him the look. I waited for Nigel long enough for us to settle on some basic non-verbal signals of improved improvised combination, by which I mean I signal him to get his shit together. I'm surprised to find that he's still instinctive thing, as my mortal body adapts to a well-known past that it reacts the same way now that it's even dead. Alright, I get it. And to think we used to cut to the chase words that this wasn't a social invitation, and I have so much patience for your innuendos. What do you want? Still quick to the point, huh? Very well. I've been trying to put together a piece on some particularly unseemly business on the deep web. One of my plugs pointed me to a direction of Double Spiral, saying that Double Spiral. Am I even surprised that name keeps coming up again and again? It still kind of haunts me, of course. I made sure that it would. I still keep tabs on Montgomery from time to time, constantly reviewing the 16 months I slaved away for nothing. It might have just been another part of Karen's hazing ritual, but I think I have a feeling that even if it wasn't the case, Brian would still told me to kill the story. Some dirt on the interwebs goes by the name of Hope. She supposedly has some kind of close dealing with Montgomery's clan. Ever heard of her? Not an expert on the concept, can't say I'm familiar with the person in question either. I'm lying, of course, feigning apathy. The name strikes a chord, one of the 4 jotted down on Colleen's list. Coincidence? Quidar insists I shouldn't believe in those. As far as I can tell, she's mostly involved in some kind of kinky porno stuff involving psychophilia, body maiming, lots of blood. Shit's borderline a cult. My cover's blown, though. I think someone's after me. Still, I've got some useful leads, which I'm happily to exchange in some of Benjamin's before I go AWOL. Interested? Knowing Kim, those 2 leads are completely worthless. But with his luck, he really might stray onto some dangerous waters. What was useless to him might prove useful to me. If I play along, he won't even know I'm no longer in the line of work. Do you expect me to buy the intel sight unseen? You buy your intel sight unseen? No dice, Nigel. Break it down for me. I won't screw you over. You know me better than that. He sighs audibly, sizing me up and down. After a brief moment, he raises his voice again. Alright, what do you want to know? Whatever your porn-addicted ass considers to be that of value. Nigel closes his eyes, pondering to where to begin. Now, this might sound complicated, so I can send you some helpful YouTube videos later, but here we go. For the next few minutes, Nigel explains his findings while desperately trying and mostly failing to make them sound like more than a dumb urban legend. Among the threads, he mentions numerous blood trafficking, secret turf wars, a coven of misogynical lodge types, the biblical flood, and the businessmen consorting with the devil in search of immortality. To common ears, this all probably sounds like some bozo conspiracy theory, but from what I can gather, he's flying dangerously close to the sun. At the moment, he doesn't know jack shit, and has no real proof of anything, meaning he doesn't pose any real threat to the danger to the Masquerade, but his conviction in following every possible lead was what made me work with him in the first place. God damn it, I'm not sure if I can just let him go. You know, Nigel? Actually watch our friend John Bonney here portray a reporter in one of his silent pictures. In the film, he disguised himself as a woman and infiltrated a secret suffrage meeting. Of course, he fucked it all up and got chased up by a tree by an angry axe-wielding libertationist? That kind of journalism makes infinitely more sense than the bullshit you spouted just right now, sorry. I know it sounds Jules, but I have this itch in the back of my head telling me there's more than it seems. And you know my sixth sense hardly ever fails me. Fun fact, there is actually a conspiracy tree in the World of Darkness called, I think, Joe something's pyramid, a satanic pyramid. And it's basically to show what conspiracies would look like in World of Darkness, where they're sort of close, but they're just missing the point. They just miss the point. And like half bits of information, which is true. I think it's horseshit, and I'll leave it at that. So, what about this Hope girl? Got something worth pursuing? Maybe. She's an enigma, a total fucking mystery. But the only thing I'm certain of that is she exists and enjoys streaming at an exclusive audience. Supposedly she's into cryptocurrency. You know, those Bitcoin things. They never make any sense of it. It's a scramble, I know, but I promise you that somewhere within lies a juicy story for someone like you to pursue. Hell, I have a hunch if we join forces we might really hit it big time. Thoughts? Poor idiots. This intel sounds like it's a cheap pulp novel. No one in my right mind is gonna pay a dime for it. I'll ruin his credibility if he still has any. If he persists on spreading this bullshit, it'll probably completely neuter his ability to harm us eventually. But if Ivory Tower gets winds of his activity, Kodar is going to get involved. He's gonna ask questions, and answers will get both me and Nigel into trouble. You're awfully quiet, Jules. Speak up, you're creeping me out. I'm sorry, Nigel. Just a bit, but still. What? He freezes in place and gazes into my eyes. There's no blood trafficking or secret turf wars going on in New York City. You have nothing to do with Double Spiral and there's no hope. You made it all up. The idea you have instead is for a non-fiction book about toxic masculinity. You're going to do research and you're going to pitch a book to everyone as a real expert on the subject. He stands completely perplexed, suppressing layers of unwritten memories. When his mouth goes open, stuck in a bizarre pose, he looks like a total goofball. I can't help but snort. John Bunny wouldn't compare, especially if our guy really follows his programming and a comedy of errors and shoes. He's going to recover in a couple minutes, but I'm not sticking around. This trick has taken its toll on me, and I only can keep my fingers crossed that it sticks. Best to bury the memories of us meeting, along with the rest of my past. Alright, it's about time I head to see Kodar. Might kind of him to arrange a meeting in a place most convenient to me. I love these animated scenes. There's so many. D'Angelo, Hope, Tamaka, Agathon. I suppose that's better than nothing, but no evidence, really? Honestly, it feels as if someone's already cleaned up the most dangerous stuff before I arrived. It sounds like Vanox. I'll definitely try and check up on that place again, but I feel like there needs some sort of expert accompanying me. An advanced investigator who shows me the ropes. Someone tall and handsome, maybe. Yeah, if you don't mind diplomatic incident, I'll go with you. Any better ideas? Actually, this very note you gave me. But I still need to set it up first. I'll get back to you about that. You know these people? I've had passing contacts with each of them. Part and parcel of the job, you know. I suppose you can help me out with these? The way I tackle it would be look at one person on the list every night, ask around about them, and see what they know if you do manage to meet them. If I manage to meet them. They're not particularly easy to get a hold of, always preferably a little off the grid, but nowadays they're all particularly hiding, if not missing in action or dead. Funny coincidence. It's not my job to speculate. In other words, he knows something, but he's not at the liberty of saying. Guess I'll find out anyway, if I do meet them. And why one night each? Shouldn't I investigate every loose thread until we're satisfied? In a perfect world, you have time you need, but this isn't a perfect world. They'll try to brute force the situation to the case as soon as possible. I expect fortnights from now, once the celebrations of power are over, they'll ask you for your findings and that will be all. Fucked up. To be brutally honest, my focus wouldn't be on solving the murder. Instead, it'd be focused on not embarrassing yourself. Fucked up. Yep, that's... this is part of why I didn't want you to get involved. You couldn't possibly think Adfa wouldn't had you involved in one of these goodness of his arts. The entirety of the investigation is just for show. You are meant to be an unwilling actor. If it wasn't for the loyalty I feel towards Kodar, Samara, and my sire, God knows the memory of my brace still holds so much sway over me. I'd have plotted vendetta against these assholes long ago. I like the way it's specifically Kodar and Samara, not so much her sire, that these are the kindred which are nice to her. She's loyal to the kindred which are nice to her. But let's be frank, even if I thought lying to Mia about being sympathetic to New York City anarchs yesterday could benefit me, I still probably wouldn't have done it. It would feel like a betrayal. There's something about the camera's ideas that still ring true to me. I believe that the individual excellence and nobility, or the way the time-tested traditions can ground us in the most terrifying new existence. But being on the receiving end of a shitty neo-feudalistic structure, and seeing firsthand how the elites always play by their own rules regardless, I can't help but think there must be something better out there. The kind of Camarilla that would actually deserve slavish loyalty from kindred like Kodar. A penny for your thoughts? I take a drag from the cigarette. That's just for Camarilla, no? After the last few months of hazing, I didn't expect a random act of kindness. This kind of bullshit is, well, just how a camera works, isn't it? More often than necessary, I'd say. But this time, it's a risky play. In my experience, it's if one simply displays some cunning, they can expectantly turn a situation like this into their advantage. Part of the court assumes you're unable to surprise them in regards. But if you do, by the end of the investigation, you might as well pull yourself out of the ditch you're in. That would be a night to remember, so, where should I go first? You should go with me. As it happens, I'm only out here because I ordered to drive Alicent to Avalon, and I guess that's the name of her prodigy. Oh, so who's Agathon? So that's who Agathon is, or was. Nobody knows. It's a complicated thing. You'll see. I'm on the clock, so let's get moving. By the way, big bad wolf. Still not done with this bit? Not while it still bothers you. I'm leaving you behind if you don't keep up. Damn, that was a jump cut. As I told Kadar, and numerous times before, I have no idea what happened to Agathon. The Broadway Chantry, like, I know what happened to some of these characters. I don't know what happened to the others, is the big interesting bit. The Broadway Chantry, part of the Chantry of the Five Boroughs, is Alicent's unusual hideout. Place these past few nights. She's in a hurry and not willing to talk. Do you have any idea about the connection of the kindred going by the names Tamaka, D'Angelo, and Hope? I don't, and I made a point of keeping our relationship strictly professional. Only never meddling in his personal affairs unless they influenced our work. That's it. But it only happened to me once. Yes, the infamous Giorno case. We started doing Act once, we never finished it. About that Giorno. Well, could the Giorno case be the reason he's missing? I seriously doubt it, for many reasons. I think the boy's lost his appetite for studying blood magic and set out to do a little soul searching. It's quite rude of him not to give me a proper warning before his departure. Still, this line of work is not particularly favoured by folks who with a perfect grasp of survivor VI. Whatever that means. I do hope this search will bring him back right where he started, begging me to bring him back in. The boy is talented, but I did put a lot of time into mentoring him. If he doesn't, well, Husa Sira, no skin off my back. So you don't entertain the possibility that he found himself in harm's way? I know an answer to that one. I research his mindset. She doesn't think it's worth considering worst case scenario. Seriously, you just take things as they come. Precisely. If, for example, climate change scientists didn't operate this way, most would have put a bullet in their head long ago. That's a cheery thought. I'd like to search for Chantry for Agathon's whereabouts. Our good sheriff already did that long ago. You'd just be wasting your time, and ours, for that matter. Didn't you say Helena was waiting for us, Quidar? Give the girl 15 minutes, Alicent. A minimal support of the ongoing investigation, and besides, she is a particular for finding things that everyone else has overlooked. Can't do a tongue catch. 10 minutes, and if you attempt to pass out this door or the one up there, I can't guarantee you'll walk out of there alive. Thank you very much, High Regent. Just get on with it. Weird moon symbol. My time here is practically up and I found nothing of use. It seems Agathon is completely dedicated to his work. Even his personal quarters is as barren as it gets. No personal touches whatsoever. Nothing I could go by. It's all research. It seems like he bore. Focus, Julie. What could you do if a warlock? What would you do if you were a warlock workaholic? Where would you leave clues to what you're worried about? What would you do if you found yourself in more danger and wanted Dakota to know? It's loose. What was that? Yeah. It's fat. Oh yeah, there's a little ghost shimmering now. It was facing away, huh? I approached the place where I saw the shadowy silhouette appear. It's a brick wall and one of the bricks is loose. Quidar and Arsene are in another room right now, still discussing the party. It's not that bad. You also learn how to find humor in these little things. It's demeaning, Sheriff. That's all there is to it. It's time. I work the brick loose until I can grasp it. Then I tug and as silently as possible, leaving a hole in the wall. Inside there's a book. I browse through it quickly. Agathon's diary. There's a bingo. ... Your 10 minutes are up. So are your 15 minutes. In fact, are you done here? It could be... If I could if I could get 5 more minutes, I still feel like I could stumble upon something here if I just looked a little more. No way, Julie, time to go. Fine. I put the brick back and take the diary with me. It did look like Agathon left it, so someone in the chantry could find it, presumably the higher region, but my investigation takes priority for now. I bid Quidar and Alicing adieu and start looking for a secluded place to read the diary. The place right here should be secluded enough for me to browse through the diary. Wait, isn't this like the screen they use for your first change? I have no idea how this game would connect to the first game, considering there are multiple choices, but there was one end and stuff. This place right here would be secluded enough for me to browse through the diary in peace. I quickly start skimming through the book, slinging over sentence and paragraph that looks interesting, trying to get a general idea of what kind of person Agathon was. Or is, I hope. The more I read, the clearer the image of the person becomes. Agathon coming out of the smoke and shadows. He's been working under the High Region for 15 years. He's an underlying shame in the way he talks about Tremere magic. He always describes himself as too slow or on the uptake, too late to learn something, too much of an amateur. He's really into trying his self-worth into his wisdom. The entries begin around 2012 as terrifying regularly. The handwriting is extraordinarily neat. The author is absolutely dedicated to his study is palatable. If there's anything to his own life besides work, it's his relationship with 3 important women he holds dear. The first is with Master Alicing Starbridge, whom reveals for her knowledge, stoicism, and willingness to experiment. I was hoping to find some details about her secretive work here, but no dice. Looks like he was willing to risk someone finding about his inner life, but not anything about that could harm her studies. A good pupil, serving a good mentor. I'm jealous. The second is a warlock, his ex-lover, Juno, whom he feels guilty about. They had a conflict which Alicing was involved in. Having to choose between the two, he chose Alicing. According to Agathon, there was no real love between him and Juno. First it was shared interest, then he grew disconnected. Ultimately guilt, which made him feel responsible for her. Maybe it's just an excuse. He strikes me as the kind of person who spends most of his time inside his head. Doesn't sound like someone you could have a fulfilling romance with. Don't. I know what you're doing, Julie, but that's not a rabbit hole you want to be stuck in right now. Keep reading. Anyway. Last but not least, Agathon's mortal grandmother, Sylvia. She's the light of his life, the person who take care of him after his parents died in a ritual murder. Not quite what I expected. Her family served a cruel vampire in Mexico City, and retribution of the city's escape. She was led the Tremere used to track him down, actually. He was keeping her alive for a long time, but a few months ago her heart gave up. Agathon blames his inefficient skills, the kind of man who carries the entire world on his shoulders. Left alone with Alicing, he drowned himself in work, eventually burned out, but it doesn't sound like Sylvia's death was the only event that triggered his depression spiral. There was some kind of incident back in 2019. He doesn't cite specifics. Another thing he was worried about writing down. It's all vague. A person made him fly too close to the sun. So this is the player character from the last game. Whatever happened, it seems to have affected his grandmother's death. New York City stopped feeling like home to him. It became alien, empty, and grotesque. His words. I checked the first page. There's a recent photo of him glued inside the inside cover. He's facing away from camera, only showing his profile, striking a rather dramatic pose. At first, it kind of looks poserish to me. However, upon closer inspection, it seems like a good buy photo. The final melancholic glance he throws in the direction before disappearing for good. There's also a single black feather, no idea what that means. Something's written into a photo with a lot of flourish. It looks like a poem. More than annoyed, sad. More than sad, unhappy. More than unhappy, suffering. More than suffering, abandoned. More than abandoned, alone in this world. More than alone, exiled. More than exiled, dead. More than dead, forgotten. The Sedative, 1917, by Maria Luranikin. Looks like he wrote down recently. It might have resonated with his emotional extent over the past few months. More importantly, it seems to confirm his interest with his intent with the diary for me. The general idea seems to be his research will outlive him, so he doesn't go into detail. So he wants some kind of tangible memory of those who left for his prosperity. Not that, but that's not all. There's still a mystery to be solved. Quite a few of the pages towards the end are missing. but it doesn't look like they were necessarily moved or redacted information. They're torn away. That makes me a clear paper that wasn't ever reused. What's more, the preceding pages are empty as well. Could it be that... That's when it happens again. I notice a bizarre shape in my peripheral vision. Bleed. I tend to catch a glimpse out of a possible as fast as possible, but it's already gone. If I could feel my heart beat faster right now, it would have been jumping out my chest. It's discomforting. I've been seeing these apparitions ever since I turned into this. Worst part is, feels like they were always there, even as mortal. But there was something in the corner of my eye, disappearing when I tried to look at them directly, making me think just my mind's playing tricks on me. But when you're part of Night Clan, there are times they don't disappear. There are times they talk. There are times they try and force you into that binding. And worst of all, no, I don't want to think about it right now. Still, my experience is they aren't exactly, I don't know, conspiracially malevolent. This one particularly was trying to help. I opened the book to the first page and look around to make sure no one is staring. Then I cut myself using my razor I keep in my pocket just in case. It's not a deep slice, just enough to let droplets of Vitae fall onto the front page. Then the letters appear. Look at me, something clown. No longer confident that any other people can be trusted, I turn to fucking spit cameras. Okay. Reserve contempt. What are you waiting for, boy? Laugh at me. Ridicule is all I desire. ... Come on, don't just stand there like an idiot. I want you to say something. Say it. What the hell? This is the last thing I expected to happen. The diary is haunted. A series of quick changing sentences and images composed of shadows and blood give me a window into another reality. It's not an adjective hue. It's like scattered remnants of emotions, similar to half-remembered dreams full of holes, by an honest extraction of one's mind. Might it be interacting with me, just like a hypothesis? But I don't know what else it could show me, show Callan. And what is that? Ellis Island? Right. This time I don't even look in this direction. The voice makes me feel oddly confident about what I need to do. I pick up a fair blade of a diary and dip in my own Vitae. Then I write down. Let's try compassion. You may call me by whatever names you want. I still pity you, old man. Well, aren't that mighty grand of you? I see what you are I see what you are. In some ways, compassion from the likes of me is probably the worst gift you could get. Just laughing. Feeling like he's hit the jackpot. It doesn't feel like the way the events took place. It's more like the way to explore Agathon's emotional truth about the way it all unfolded. In any case, the diary reacts to me, and some shades of the truth is better than nothing. It's a handy tool, and if I use it right, I might find some clues that could aid me in my investigation. There are a few thoughts flowing around in my head, like the alien entities trying to make their way out, as if there's only effects of the diary's power. Let's try death. Is it the fear of death that drove you to contact me? Don't be ridiculous. I've been ready to die since before you came into your mama's womb, boy. No, I feel something worse. So you heard about that plot? Yes. I wasn't afraid to fail and leave me for final death. I was afraid it would succeed. God damn it. Who are you talking about? Why did you meet? Ellis Island. Why did you pick this place to meet anyway? It's secluded and there's something in the air that makes the blood magic go haywire, which is especially important. Because of me? You're still afraid I might be part of that experiment? No, because of that devil woman. Blood runs cold. All the scribbling disappears, and another set starts taking their place. The diary conjures an image of a complete different place. I instantly get a feeling of deja vu. The process of the space differently. The atmosphere is different, more familiar, homely. But this is unmistakably the Tremere Chantry I visited earlier tonight. And standing there is the person I'd expect. ... Looks like it was for my meeting from Calais. Looks like that was it for my meeting with Calais, goddammit. But whatever person was talking about, the inciting a strong emotional reaction from was Alicing. The diary waits for my next command. Who? The High Regent who? What is this naive question? What is a point to have? I make a point to have a few strings attached to me as possible. The few I've kept because they benefit. The benefits they should offer be painfully obvious to you. I don't feel comfortable being part of this at all. I always thought you were busy with science, not politics. Those are words of a child, Agathon. Science has always relied on politics and science. That is true. Not like this, High Regent. Don't embarrass me, Agathon. Not like this. The moving scribbles disappear again. I hesitate to let another drop of blood fall onto the page. What appears this time is another familiar face. Ah, yes. When is that you wanted? What is that you wanted to tell me? You goddamn rat! You goddamn rats! I beg your pardon? The harpy vanishes. Yeah, right. As if I could ever gain the courage to say that to your face. The least I could do is stab you and try and stab you in the back. The diary ends. I spill a little more Vita on the page, but it no longer works. I suppose that is. Still no idea what happened to Agathon. Is he alive or is he dead? I'm gonna go with dead. This seems like weirdly ghost magic rather than blood magic. I know there's blood connected to it, but since we have a ghost shade literally pointing at the book, this could be a fair dead. He's dead, no doubt about it. There's just too many powerful folks involved, and everything I've seen in this diary feels like a noose tightening around his neck. I choose to believe that he's dead because it's the most rational thing to do. I suppose Dakota is right. I'm a glass empty kind of buzzkill. Glass empty? In any case, I think it's time to pay a visit to Valhalla. I know Anton tends to leave Elysium quite often to take care of some fresh air and message people on his BlackBerry, so I just wait until I see him. The tactic works. He's surprised to see me. Mr. Krowski, shouldn't you be busy with your investigation? I am, actually, which is why I've come to see you. That's particular, because I'm absolutely sure I have nothing to do with this case. Aren't you barking up the wrong tree? That's what I'm here to find out. I assume you'd want to see I'm thorough. Yes, sure, I suppose it's commendable. What is it, then? I have reason to believe the last few months you, the High Regent, Alicing Starbridge, and her child Agathon were involved in a secretive scheme. His expression changes ever so impersonally, but the difference is palpable to me. For the first time, he looks at me as a person. Up until now, I was just amusing little division. Now I'm something more, and he doesn't like it. What gave you this idea? Not at liberty to say. If you really want to know, ask the sheriff. Of course, Quidar doesn't know anything, but he's the only one in cult that Agathon repeatedly fails to influence. He'll think twice before approaching him. I fail to see the matter of this relates to the task at hand. I have every reason to believe Baron Crowley was involved, and that he might be had grounds to fear for his life because of said scheme. He tenses now. Do I have upper hand, Miss Surowski? Please answer the question. The delicate matter you are speaking of has absolutely nothing to do with Baron Masquerade's fate. It's a strictly confidential affair. It'd be wise for you to stop pursuing it. It'd be wise of you to fuck off. I love Julie. Sorry, just getting vengeance on this guy feels good. I can't be an investigator if I am not allowed to properly investigate. This matter is unrelated to your work and should be treated as such. I am 100% convinced Prince Penhard would agree. If you insist on pursuing it further, we can take it up with the prince and see if your stance differs from mine. But I think you aren't naive to waste her time, and besides, she certainly wants you to present. She certainly wants you to present your basis for your discovery to the court. Could you handle it? I have no response. God damn it! This is his revenge for invoking Quidar, isn't it? I thought so. Is the High Regent inside? She is, but don't worry. I'll make sure to tell her not to waste your precious time, Miss Skrelski. That's how it's going to be played, you bastard. Well, I guess you win this round. Strategic Retreat is my best choice here. I don't have a full deck of cards yet, but just you wait. In a few nights, I'll take my leave. Yes, you do that. And if I may be so blunt, focus on the investigation avenues that aren't utterly imbecilic and suicidal to pursue, miss. I bid you adieu. I curse him under my breath as he disappears into the hole. Guess this avenue is really carved from me, at least for now. 3 names on the list still. I have some leads to go by, but for now, it's getting late. I should go to St. Patrick's and file my latest reports. When I reach the cathedral, Father Leodhard is already there. He's not exactly the most punctual person, so I always feel relieved to see him from afar. Time to move in and move out before noticed by be-nots. Will this be all? I guess so. I rattled off most of it in a hurry way here. I'll come up with a more exclusive report tomorrow night. Busy? Looks that way, Father. Our wayward girl has finally been again to recognized by her superiors. Here we go again. Of course, he had to sneak up on me. Even if you heard about it, I guess that means every single kindred in 5 boroughs knows. I know you're an expert when it comes to knowing who's saying what and where, but the last time we met, you promised to share the knowledge with me. Yeah, I was kind of lying. That's the 9th commandment broke, Father. Shouldn't you scold her? Don't involve me in your silly games, be-not. The way you failed, fall for obvious lies stems from your biggest failing in the communion, and that is you only pay attention to what's being said and not how. That's booyah, motherfucker. Suck it. Annihilate with an absolute flawless diagnosis. Oh my god, Julie. Child, don't make me regret siding with you. Sorry, Father. It won't happen again, especially if you promise to keep verbally destroying that clown. You're in a strange mood tonight, child. Go get some sleep. Yes, we'll continue this tomorrow. I'm not showing up here tomorrow. Yes, you are. Stop breaking the 9th commandment. See you around, Julie. He says my name in a sickeningly sweet way that gives me the creeps. About Father Leonhard, and be on my way to best to ignore and spin Bennett and head to Dakota's place. Finally, my haven. Hey. Another tough night? You don't know half of it. You want a drink? She points to her neck. I manage to summon a faint smile. I love to, but we can't do this too often. Maybe tomorrow. You want to talk then? Yeah, I guess so. Just not about work, okay? I sit down next to her. Not about work. What's on your mind then? The past, I guess. Meaning, how spotty our memories are, and how desperate that we are trying to build our convictions on. Sorry it's so banal. I'm just tired and frustrated. Well, let's talk about something more specific then. What do you remember about the time we first met? The first time we met? Yeah. Shit, not a lot actually. Those were gloomy, anxious days. I think subconsciously replaced them with blank spaces. Oh, okay, that's a little too close to start at home. I remember you trying to paint your hair black. Ouch, don't jig out my trauma now, okay? I remember that when we were talkable, we talked about Hashu? Don't say Hashu, it's a low-key racist, I think. Nobody knows what you mean by house. Nobody even know what you mean by house. The show with Asshole Doctor. No, that Japanese haunted house film. House. Okay, sorry. Film that feels like it was written by a 7-year-old with ADHD. In the best way, duh. We're arguing which character of a movie, from a movie both of us are. You wore Kung Fu and I ended up as a prof, which was rude. You were dressed up like a total nerd. That's not my fault. What's the deal with the suit? That suit. I liked the suit. Yeah, it's okay. I remember you helping you out with the graphic design when you needed it. Funny, I remember you needing help with writing as something tended to happen far more often. Yeah, we developed a fun shared of aesthetics, similar surface concerns. It was bound us up together before we even fully comprehended deep down as human beings. Hell, I'm still not sure we are, especially now, with me not being a human anymore. But hey, at least we both agree on this bedroom feels super comfy. I remember always feeling left out of your social circles. Always knocking at the door from outside. Forget it. My social circles were full out of touch snobby assholes. Yeah, but I felt weird how much they avoided me, and that they were that one time with Isabel. All of a sudden, one thing Isabel said out of party flashes in my mind a sudden clarity. After midnight, in the kitchen, without context, she walks up to me and she will isolate you. She will suck you dry, and she'll move on to the next target. That's the only thing she knows. Don't remind me of Isabel. She's always resented me. It's been so long, and all baseless conjecture now. But what if she did isolate me on purpose back then? Glass half empty, my ass. Something is off here, and that might be part of it. Can't rule it out, at least. I won't say anything, but it's worth keeping in mind for a future. Being naturally suspicious is a virtue, whatever Dakota says. Just carrying on as nothing happened. Yeah, forget it, Isabel. let's just drop this talk. I'm frustrated enough. I need rest. Sounds like a good idea. Off to sleep. Yeah. Gotta get ready to go back to hell tomorrow. Alright. I'll get back to work. Working remotely again? Yeah, my office is going insane for many reasons. And I'm getting cabin fever too. Go get some sun, it'll be good for you. Look who's talking. Good night, sunshine. Good night. That's sweet. A few minutes later, I wake up. I see a message spilling under the front door. Kudar? Yep. Looks up after he gets a shot from a window and to meet me in Queens. A few hours from now, Williston Point. A single suggestion. Get ready for some action. Fine then. I will. Best way to do it would be to clear my mind. Just walk without thinking. Reset the framework. Some fresh air should do it. By the way, the Sombra used to be cracked in 20th edition for combat. Like, legitimately. Broken. I'm taking a sip of water, so I'm talking about a tabletop game. Ugh. Oh god. But no, they used to be broken. Mainly because they were antagonists instead of player characters. So they could get away with a little bit more. And I'm just putting my phone on charge. Because it is not on charge yet. Which, you know, not great. Let me put it on charge. And we'll get back. And I'll get fully back to you. But no, La Sombra were designed... Oh yeah, I don't know if you must have heard that little beep. Yep, you are hearing that. That's just my phone. Because it's doing an update, so I thought I'd put it on charge. Maybe a chance meeting with someone could get me out of this mental rut. Let me look at the world from a different angle for a while and improve my mood. Although when it comes to improving one's mood, nothing beats some crimson red pouring down my throat. Not to mention these cigarettes taste better in a full stomach. Let's go. I'm being tailed. The last thing I need right now is that weirdo stalker from every step. Did I take my investigation too far down the rabbit hole? There's no place like home, and I need a little piece. Big meat burger, here I come. Wait, who is this loon? I'm interested in following this one because it's following up on something from the previous game. And again, I find myself at the entrance of a sanctuary. Current vibe, not exactly an embodiment of Joe de Vera, but unblinded by myself, usual self-loaning. All in all, pretty decent frame of mind. Beware, big beat burger. Something wicked this way cometh. And poof, just like that, my mood is ruined, and it all took a single step through the door. Some swiveled-eyed loon took my seat. Her legs are across the table, dirty shoes steadying my chipboard altar. Oh, come on. Her style of clothes is obviously meant to be some eccentric patchwork, but it comes off as tragically derelict. There's nothing coherent in her table choice, and it's not just because there's plenty of free spaces tonight. She ogles me with those beady little eyes, daring me to come and try her. I give the guy at the till, Benny, I think his name was, a quick glance, no response. Unsurprisingly, he's a veteran. He knows better than to get involved. Is this supposed to be a message? Long shot, but a reminder of a camera's watchful eye, maybe. Everything about this lady, her hairstyle, her mannerisms, lipstick smear nowhere near her actual lips, screams lunatic. I'm not that type to fight tooth and nail to get out of the bats out of her cave. I'm not just gonna back down for no good reason either. I quietly take a sit in front of her and wait. Yeah, you crazy-headed weirdo, I can be patient too. Spend the next 5 minutes in silence. She just sits there, glares at me without even blinking once. Another few minutes go by, dragging by impotently. She's showing out some red bubblegum with a wide-eyed grin that makes Jack Nicholson's trademark smile look like Mr. Rogers' beaming smile. Not gonna lie, chew. That munching chew is getting on my nerves. Engage in a staring contest. Keep my cool. I'm perfectly aware this is theatrical, serving only for one purpose, to get under my skin, making me act against my bad judgment. It's true, surprisingly effective, I'll give her that. But I'm not an idiot. I'll just keep a chill pill, trying to remain in control. She uncrosses her legs in a strangely seductive motion in her mind's eye. It probably looks like Sharon Stone in Basic Instincts, but in reality, it had all the grace of a talkative track sleeve Slav squat. It seems as we're gonna be a while longer. I pull out a cigarette from my crumpled package and light it up casually, as if I wasn't bothered by the invader. Before I can take a single puff, the nudge snatches the cigarette out of my mouth. Don't mind if I do. Who do you... She cuts off me mid-sentence. Shush, no talking. Just go back to your happy place. I try to hold my impulse to rip her face off. She picks up after a few seconds. I don't like you. I don't hate you either. Not yet. At least, sheesh. I'm a good judge of character, but yours still eludes me. Get to the fucking point. She flicks the ashes of the cigarette in a fluid motion, takes a long puff, and no exhale. The smoke comes out of her mouth when she speaks, like incense caught on fire. Inside's caught on fire. My special friend asked me to keep note on your every step, judge you every move, and count on your every failure. And believe me, when I started this job, I thought that I'd be a lot less counting. Who is she talking about? Pahad? Kadar? Talk? She tilts her head in an unsettling canine motion. Little girl, I ran all sorts of charts and graphs on you, and you're all pointing to the same results. Useless hussy. Can you have your sister out and illuminate to me as why all this fuss is about? Don't want to help me? Come on, if you're a good doggy, you might get a biscuit. As if all this bullshit wasn't enough, she taps me on the nose like I'm a fucking puppy. No, you don't. You wanna get nuts? Okay, let's get nuts. Calm down. We're gonna do that. It's truly a Herculean effort. I restrain myself from smacking my hand at the side and going for her throat, desperate for all the pleasantly violent images flashing in my mind. I clench my fist so hard that the skin gives into my fingernails, painting my palm of my hand with just a little bit of blood. The loony bitch is clearly savoring every moment until she's not. As soon as I manage to compose myself, she storms out without looking at me once. A loud slam announces both her departure and necessary to prepare the door for 100th time or so. Still, I'm not sure what this was all about, but I swear, if I ever meet her again, I don't think I'm going to be half as zen as I was tonight. It's time to go back to work. I step inside the subway and head for my meeting with Kadar. Oh, for fuck's sake, I thought you were kidding. Nope, I couldn't reach her. But I know for a fact Hope is there. He points to a direction of Double Swallows building. And what is she doing there? I understand the leadership of the company acting CEO to be exact. No, you're pulling my leg. Of all the places in the city, the company that brags about creating IT solutions of the future, always surrounded by rumors of monstrous workers abuse, all sorts of ethical violations, trading information with governments, and ending the career of a certain prominent journalist for... That was my phone. Sorry about that. Yep, that was my phone. Sorry. Promised journalists and professionally fucked up who attempted to investigate them seriously. You might be able to ask both professionally and personal questions. 2 birds, 1 stone. I don't get it. Last time I checked, the company belonged to Kara Montgomery. I'm told she quietly took a sabbatical a few months ago. It looks like the kind of sabbatical you don't come back from. The final death. Final death? Very possibly, but I have no idea. I remember I was shocked when I first learned that one of my nemesis back in my old life was a vampire all along. When I realized her position made her untouchable to me, I was beyond mad. Well, when that happens, it can happen to a nicer person. What about her brother, Jesse? You're asking me, last I checked, you were expelled from the company. I just handled the basic intel for you, even though I shouldn't have even really been here. Yeah, I hope you realize I'm grateful. Would have been better. So, is Hope another corporate shark? Well, she's a child of Carter. A theatrical pause, he smiles as he sees me wince. But very much unlike him. He took her in for particular manufactured talents, related to the internet. Knowing he's hopelessly behind the times in that regard. I hear she's a bit being unruly though. Well, unruly's is good. I can work with unruly. So you're telling me she might not be a stuck-up startup bitch. Language! As I've told you a few times now, when it comes to the internet, just assume I haven't the slightest idea. I'm getting that myself. I haven't been able to check my emails for 5 months. I have no idea what the kids at BBB are talking about most of the time. Oh my god, I'm getting old. Don't worry, the moment you realize you don't give a damn about the fads you would have cared about years ago is a liberating one. Been there, done that at the beginning of the 20th century. Old. Oh, I bit my tongue on that one. Oof. Let me just... Cool. Phone is plugged in. Charging. Anyway, you'll probably hear Hope's story straight from the horse's mouth. I don't have much time, so I'll get straight to the point. You shouldn't be looking at anything in the main building. It's just for front. Ignore it. What you want to do is to go to the elevators and go to the lowest floor in the building. I heard the stories about Double Sparrow's basement, but I had no idea what to make of them. Every source told me it's a different rumor. Did any of them tell you rumors about army of underground ghouls? No, by no ears. Double Sparrow employs an army of ghouls as cheap workforce. They work and live in the underground, away from prying eyes, with less rights than regular kind employees, perfect for business. Wow. I'm actually speechless for a second. I heard profoundly low expectations at a company, but every time I learn something about what's going on behind the scenes, I'm still surprised at every level of scumbaggery at play. I'll leave the moral judgment to you, expert. In any case, you need to reach room 0507 where the CEO supposedly resides, and then get Hope to answer your questions. His old-timey flip phone vibrates. Speaking of it, if you've got any left for me, it's now or never. I need another hole now. What's the best approach? How should I approach the building? I've told you everything I know. Just do what I do all the time, and that is scout the situation, then decide. Right, I forgot what you do all the time. You mean scouting? No, stating the obvious. The phone vibrates again. Well, that's it for me. Arthur is positioning me to show up at the Elysium 5 minutes ago. Well, tell him I kindly suggest he should go fuck himself. Not in 1,000 years. Well, good luck with your mission, soldier. I love their dynamic. This is everything Curry's of New York should be. This sums up like what V5 is as to play as a game. You got your touchstone. You got weird corporate things. It's great. This is so much more coherent than Curry's of New York. No stories just ended abruptly. This is the endings of the stories that we saw. With a mocking salute, he disappears inside his car and drives away, but because it's wrapped up in a mystery where Julie does not know the backstory, it works even better. Nothing left for me to do but head inside. I'm still anxious. There are 2 approaches from, and whichever I pick, I have to stick with. I force my way in, assert my authority, bad cop style, and should make an impression. Bad bitch coming in the way, with the entire court behind her back, bluffing her way to victory. Sneaking in and politely asking for cooperation seems less disruptive, but more me option. But it's not like being me has taken me anywhere thus far. Shit, I kind of wish I was still stuck in my routine where I didn't need to do anything like developing a personality. It's a bit of a coin flip, honestly. I've got to make a choice here. How do I approach Double Spiral? Bad, stay cover. Not into a bad cop stick. Being aggressive is not me. I don't even know what to think about the headache I've had to deal with. The less destructive I am, the better chance I won't get pissed off at me, and I do need hope to be cooperative. The good cop approach should pay off effectively. Alright, let's do this. I cloak myself in shadows and let my instincts take over. The lobby isn't well lit, so it's not hard to get behind the lone security guard. He does know if something's wrong with security cameras and hits the display a few times, but once he's done, I'm already inside the emergency staircase and making my descent. The doors to the deepest floor are locked, and it takes a bare brute force. And I'm inside. Hello, Double Spiral. Thought you wouldn't have seen me again, assholes? I look through and find an emergency elevator evacuation map. Bullseye. Looks like the information I need is here. That's her, room 507. Is that Hope? Someone comes around. Looks like one of Hope's needy ghouls is here to sniffing around, but I'm already in the shadows. I slink away and start patrolling the corridor, checking is everything okay. Cameras, body heat, sensors, electronic locks. I'm still managing. I remain cautious, just like Kodar wanted me to. But it's surprisingly easy for me to avoid security. Progressing towards room 507 is far easier than I expected. I reach Double Spiral's office, where just like Kodar said, hordes of ghouls are slaving away at the company's deep learning, spyware, social media manipulation, yada yada. The important thing right now is everyone is staring at their own screen, so it's easy for me to keep sneaking. ... Aside from the fact that she seems to be the only one on my trail, slowed by the fact that she's far in a search, I better pick up the pace. And there is another one, the final corridor, time to announce myself. I slowly walk... Ooh, this is nice. Nice imagery. I slowly walk to the end of the corridor. There it is, room 507. The door looks harder to take care of than the other ones in the place. Probably won't be here to take care of it the same way I did the others. The door to the office is currently Double Spiral's CEO. This fucking company. I get pissed off, but I'm trying to control it. There's a camera by the door. If she knows what to look for, she probably can see it on her screen. Just making sure to knock on her door. Hope, I'm the camera detective, and I'm gonna need you to answer some questions. Hope, I know you're in there. Open the door. I'm not afraid to leave until you do. I will not leave until you do. I'm on behalf of the sheriff of the city of New York. Hope. I keep pounding the door, calling her name. After a minute or so, the voice rings out in the intercom. Is this thing on? I guess it is. Alright, I got your message loud and clear. I'll meet you in the offices. I'll be right there. Looks like you made it past poor Nasty. And what? How do you pronounce her name? Get back to the office and keep her company. She's probably beyond pissed off about you eluding her grasp. But don't make it a big deal, okay? Thank you for the cooperation. I'll be right there. What's up? On one hand, clothes you resembled expert to find a CEO's recently expert to finding a CEO's wardrobe. On the other hand, body covered in tattoos, flesh jewelry, dyed hair, wild makeup. And though she might be yet another CEO playing the non-conformist crosses your mind, but she strikes me as someone who's more than happy to live in her own little bubble. Still, I won't be fooled. She is the boss of Double Spiral. So how did you find me? This is interesting, because when you de-aberrate someone like she did, you take some of their personalities if your willpower is not enough. And here we find Hope not talking in her standard way. Sheriff Kodar assumed it. Sorry. You have to ask him. I take out a new cigarette without thinking. You can't smoke in here, lady. Just let her. Don't treat me like I'm one of your enemies. I come in peace. A deep, relaxing drag. So, when did you realize I was here? Right at the start, there was a momentary laser malfunction. It lasted a second or two. Hasn't tripped an alarm, but I guess something was off. That's it. Hunches have gotten me in every job I've ever had. Hunches saved my life anytime I got into a messy situation. These days, the reality is too complicated to rely on anything else. Can't find any better head of security than Nasta. The hunches she has is the main reason why. They're like a sixth sense. Corporate rebel, huh? Wouldn't take you for a brutal enforcer. I mean, duh, that's the idea. You want to be an unexpected threat. I mean, the whole rebel aspect versus the whole bloodthirsty corporate dog thing. Is it meant to be a disguise? Nah, I've always been into alternative shit and hating the system, and I've been dressing like this for a while, long before I got a good taste of hope. No moral confusion about it? Niasta shrugs. Lady, in this city, all the corporate dogs are in one way or another. I just cut out the middleman. More money for me, more time to pursue my own thing. So you're a sellout. Please, check the bio of old music icon who presents themselves as a radical. Their parents, always these rich fucks. Military, CIA, praise you, story loans, old money, whatever. And they never own it. Always squirmish anytime someone asks about a position of privilege they've used to sell their maverick eye image. Me, I've just got my own hands dirty to get anywhere, so I will. Quite surprises, I actually get her. The signal attitude is too tempting. Lovely chat, girls, but I'd save it for later. I'm the CEO now. I have a lot of duties, and I must pretend to handle. I need to ask you a few questions. Sure, yeah. Come to me if you need me. I've got a weird hunch about this one too. Don't worry, I'll disappear as quietly as I arrive. Yeah, for you to do. Be sure that you left, lady, so that I can report it to my boss. We'll talk to security later. Don't worry, this shit happens. For now, take 5. Nasdale leaves. I'm left alone with Hope in the corridor of her office. It feels funny to stand here in front of you. Oh, and why's that? You people had me fired for my job before I was embraced. Ah, I see. So Swarovski, you're from Lone Star. Yeah. Somehow I never put the two together. So you're the La Sombra rep for the city now, huh? As she talks to me, she keeps tapping on her phone with terrifying speed. I don't feel like I have her full focus, and it's getting on my nerves. Just so you know, I have no idea why you've taken Cara Montgomery's place, and I doubt you would tell me, but the bitch deserved to burn in hell. Hell yeah, she does. Wait, did you just admit? Hold your horses. No, Jesus, this is why normal CEOs pay PR people to talk to them. I only agreed that she was a horrible person in every way that counts, nothing more. Does she know what you think of her? Why did she let you take a position in the first place? What? I just cut through bullshit, okay, Miss Lodestar? I guess this is about Jess and Kiara covering his creepy ass. You spent months on this case, and you'd like some closure. Pretty much. Well, here's your closure. Double Swirl had served practically all ties with them. They don't work here they don't work here. They get no company money. They probably don't even show up here again. The company's not their circus anymore, and the workers are not their monkeys. I'm in charge now, so yeah, if there's anything you'd like from me, I'm all ears. It wasn't just Jess and his sister. This company has ingrained structural abuse and immoral. I've just ordered international investigation and audits. Everyone related to those illicit activities was disciplined. Legal action, firings, rebukes, all depending on the severity of their misdemeanors. I don't have the stomach for all the creepy corporate shit, so I don't try and steer the ship in the right direction. Don't know what else I can tell you. For fuck's sake. No matter how I look at it, she seems like she's done everything I hoped to achieve. The Montgomery clan is over. The Queen Bitch, a symbol of everything that was wrong with tech CEOs, is gone. Jess, that perverted embezzler son of a bitch, is gone. I should be glad, so why is there a sinking pit in my stomach? So that's capitalism, huh? Yeah. So that's capitalism, huh? Is it? I think it's something worse. When you look at the online world, I don't see capital rule us. I see incomprehensible vectors, unknown entities, constantly opening and closing various markets of information. Don't worry about that, Hope. Don't worry about the New World Order. Do not worry about them. They will have you killed. That's a joke, but like, technically, World of Darkness does have the New World Order, which has data as their main sphere, and which is a manipulation of information. Manipulation of information on a grand scale, on a conceptual scale. This is something worse than what familiar 20th century terminology taught us. I don't know what it is, but it's terrifying, and we'll continue to until we give it a name. But you need emotional support, not my depressing philosophies. Well, shit sucks, and I'm sorry. The biggest case in my professional life, solved by some weirdo who fucked Kara and Jesse over in presumably underhanded ways. It doesn't get more anticlimactic than this. Fucking hell. I want to ask her how she did it, why she would tell me, and I can guess she's an outcast who decided to get her hands dirty and obtain power to do something she considered good. Something I've always been afraid to do. Anyway, I feel for you, but I have work to do, so if this wasn't a trip down memory lane and you have any other questions, speak now or forever hold your peace, okay? I feel like a car just rammed me, but I need to keep my shit together. Right, a few days ago, Anarch Baron was found dead in his office. Are you familiar with the case? Douglas Colan, of course I'm familiar. Every kindred online is talking about it. And what are they saying? They're accusing everyone. I mean, it's the internet. Are they accusing you? Why would they do that? I found a particular note in Colan's remains. It had your name on it. Huh? What can you say about this? Nothing. I've never met the guy. I've never seen him. He wasn't my crowd. Then why would he have a note with your name on in his pocket? Why will Walt Disney's last words Kurt Russell? No clue. I watch her closely. Nothing suggests she's hiding anything. Well, the note actually contained 3 other names, and nothing else. Agathon, D'Angelo, Tamaka. Ringing any bells now? Her fingers, which hasn't stopped moving across the phone screen since I first saw her, freezes. Yeah, it kind of does, actually. It's a short list of promising unaffiliated kindred that were making the rounds in the NYC a few months ago. In any case, and anyone needed a hero for hire. I didn't know Caroline had it. I knew Sophie Langley did, as well as a few primogens. Not sure about the Anarchs. Who could have prepared this list? One of the local information brokers. A short but telling pause. Anonymous. How anonymous? Sort of anonymous. She's obviously conflicted about whether she should tell me, or maybe she's pretending to warm it out of her. I've been a good sport ever since I walked through her door. Maybe a pleasing her sense of morality will work. I really need your help. I need to prevent the tension between the local anarchs and McCall from escalating, and every lead helps. She briefly considers the option, then gives up. It's my sire, Carl Vanderwend. Oh, he's broking information? Everyone knows becoming Prince of New York is his ultimate goal, and he wants to make friends in all of the high places. Sharing useful intel is an effective way to achieve that. So you're telling me that the Malkavian Primogen sold this list to the Anarch Baron? Sure looks like it. Why would he suggest his own child to somebody? To have a person on the inside, just another way of furthering his information web? When they realize you two are close, the story goes around as he left me alone and I hate his guts. Well, it's at least half of it that's true. She's talkative. Probably sees me as a way of undermining Carter. Let's see how much further I can push her. Huh. I was wondering how someone like you could control a company like Double Spiral. Suppose a friend in high places would explain it. Yeah, lucky me. Not happy about being a boss. Not happy about being a girl boss? Leading one of the biggest IT companies in the country? A boss, huh? She stares at a dozen displays on a wall in front of her. Ooh, I love this art. I love that we get more splash images. Do you remember Y2K era internet? Jesus, I barely even remember the internet at all. My people can't really use it. Yeah, I guess I sort of remember the forums, GOCs, browser wars, all of the handmade amateurish web pages. It was a golden age. Everyone was welcome to freely express their creativity and obsession in the abstract new frontier. No formulated rules. Every site was distinct, new universes to explore. You know, as a kid, for some reason, I kept saving every webpage that moved or changed me in some way. I don't even know why I did it, but today a photo of these is one of my greatest treasures. Fast forward today. I'm the boss of a company that has one overreaching goal: steer the online narrative any way possible that benefits Camarilla. And because the online world is so fucked up right now, I do it only using 5 websites or so. Every day I deploy thousands of believable sock puppets to force some belief onto the masses. Right now, they're being managed by ghouls. Soon, they'll be practically managed by AI. Basically, an all-American version of Chinese 50 Cent Party, a new pattern of public opinion guidance. Ever since I was a teen, I pretended to be different people online for fun. Aping the posting patterns of others was something I turned to be horrifyingly good at. It became even better after embrace. Something about the Malkav voice in my head. After several years, I became one person's internet empire. I could impersonate anybody. Now back to talking like hope. A humble forest from Kantong who strives to share positive energy with the audience using views of beautiful boutiques, motivational quotes, and the occasional The Office gif. A single mum from Brighton who reckons all these trans women must be bonkers, and sends seemingly waking moments of her life having a row of anyone who disagrees. Okay, that's a bit too. I'm pretty sure they're talking about Brighton in the UK, which is too real about the UK. Okay, hey, we're in New York. Please don't. Sorry, the UK's messed up, and I live in it, and I hate this place, but it's still my home. You know? Yeah, no, that's way too realistic for the UK. A 19-year-old kid from Utah who keeps posting Y2K 3D renders of purely proportioned, scantily clad ladies, telling his audience to remember what they took from you. That's also pretty good, dear God. Somehow this talent got me here, where it's no longer fun, but work. Work I usually entrust to the ghouls because of all my duties. I went out before my entire fucking mind gets monetized. But Carter wouldn't have that, so she kept doing my best for both him and the double swirl investors. So that's why she wants me to look at him. I assume most of the operations focus on New York City? A lot of them, yeah. How do you imitate a New Yorker's voice with those sock puppet accounts? Living in Manhattan and being mentally unstable makes this shit easier. To a normal line-adjusted person from outside the city, everyone here seems mentally unstable. Ever watched 9/11 Howard Stern show? No? Check it out someday. It's educational. Ask anyone in NYC about it and they're like, it's a great bonding moment. It was helping us make sure everything. He kept saying we were all what we were all thinking. But then listening to it, and it's everyone yelling that we need to nuke something. Maybe the entire world. Get rid of all the Muslims. Fuck human rights. No investigations. Take that oil. Cheery. You watch it, you study it, you witness the specific brand of humor in the face of tragedies, and you understand that nothing outside NYC really exists for the people who live here, or the vampires. A foundational text, really. Whenever I need to get back to a New York mindset for work, I let it play in the background. Works like a charm. Seriously, give it a shot sometime. Someday I might. For now, I think I'll confirm with Vendigan what you've told me. Or is that what you haven't told me? What's the story? Me? Of course I haven't told you anything. You're such a good investigator. You figured it out by yourself. And if he asks, just tell him Kaiser sold you the info. That should do the trick. I see. Thank you. What for? I did nothing. Let Nesta show you out. And if you don't know Vasson's dress, just ask her. Moon again. Thank you for having me, Mr. Van Duren. No need, no need. I'll be happy to assist you in your investigation in whatever way I can, Mr. Arsic. This sickeningly sweet smile and lets his office very plain but oppressive. Here's a man who knows how to subtly unnerve people, but I think he realized. But does he even realize that? I'm sure the presence of esteemed Addison Payne will guarantee I'm totally transparent. Am I right, Addison? Look. Looks like I've interrupted a friendly meeting in far corner of the room. I spot the glass, sizzle of the blood, and two spittoons, vice and foils of the rich. Are you sure I'm not wasting your time? Not at all. Busy as I might be, I can't say I'm not curious about the findings in the case. Yes, my thoughts exactly. So how are you handling your newfound responsibilities? I'm managing. I'll start by the obvious. Where were you on the night of Douglas Cullen's meeting? His, untimely demise. Brandon raises an eyebrow and then lets out a restrained chuckle. Hear that, Anderson? I might be a suspect of foul play. Exciting, isn't it? Carter, no antics, please. Just answer the question. Of course. Well, I was right here. Just as I told the Prince Penhard, as much as I love to celebrate my power, sometimes one has to celebrate the amount of work piling up on their desks. Don't know why I'm doing this voice for this guy. Just decided to. So, your alibi is you were right here. Alibi. Yes, I suppose. Can anyone back up your story? Well, I did make a few business-related phone calls as I was working, so there's that. That doesn't really answer my question, does it? He regards me with a stare reserved for a troublesome child. Miss Rudowski, this right here is a private little fortress, a special specifically designed to make my focus. I don't really let people break me out of that focus. Aside from occasional esteemed guests such as yourself, of course, and our wonderful Mexican woman responsible for cleaning duties. So you don't have an alibi. This look in my ice creams. Why won't you at least pretend and try to get on my board with my program, kid? I suppose, but why would that matter? Because I found something that belongs to you on the victim's person. Pardon me? Took the words right out of my mouth. We're not making a murder weapon or something of that caliber, of course. No, it was a short list of names. Unaffiliated kindred whose services could be useful to anyone's interested in toppling the current power balance in NYC. Tamaka, Hope, D'Angelo, Agathon. Excuse me, Mr. Zalxi. I'm afraid I'm not following. How is this some kind of belongs to me? I have it on good authority that this short list you've been shopping around to anyone interested in NYC, be it the Camarilla or of Anarchs. Addison tenses up and his host is not happy about it. This is Propsist. I'm calling your bluff right here now, miss. No, the bluff is coming right now. Mr. Vanderman, if you want to voice concerns about information I have, how about you voice them with Kaiser, not me? Addison turns to Vandergand, clenching his lips and gripping his wheelchair arm tightly. ... For a brief moment, the ever-present smile on Vandergand's face goes missing, and then the expression his representative replaces with reminds me of a horrifying void, like a sneak peek at what's really going on in his soul. He quickly corrects himself, but the image is burned into my retinas. To think that sort of unsavory rumors circulating around me, I should be grateful for you to let me know. So you're denying it? Of course I'm denying it, categorically. You can bet your life savings on it. I certainly hope it's nothing more than an unfortunate blunder. At two, Brutu. Come on, Anderson. We've known each other for years. Yes, and what about it? I see. I will, sweet Jesus, Anderson. I will get back to you in a second. Any more questions, Mr. Rowski? Any names on the list sound familiar to you? None. I mean, yes, that is my longest strange child on your list, but that's just another reason why I'm flabbergasted anyone would consider it mine. I see. Well, I hope you understand why I'm considering you a prime suspect now. Ah, yes. I swear on my name as soon as possible. Scouts on any more questions? It's good for now. Sheriff Alazine will probably contact you later. I'll get in touch with myself ASAP. Once again, thank you for your work. He extends his hand towards me, practically forcing me to shake it. Then he puts... Sorry. Then he practically forces me to shake it. Then he puts his hand on my shoulder and leads me to the door, all too eager to see me off. Actually, curiosities, Mr. Vanderman. I have one more question, though it may be a bit random. I didn't really need to ask it, but I wanted him to die inside for a moment. Of course, my dear. His slight strained tone suggests I may have succeeded. You seem like a person who couldn't live outside of NYC. By chance, have you listened to the Howard Stern talk show after the World Trade Center fell? A tad unsure, but once again, carefully controlled chuckle escapes his mouth. Geez, that's random, but well, New York, born and raised, just like you said. Of course I did. Your opinion? Same as everyone else's. It was spiritually guidance that we needed in those days, coming from unlikely places, a visceral response that verbalized everything we felt, a beautiful moment of unity. Not that I'm into lowbrow jokes about Pamela Anderson and typical shock value shows attempt to offer, but as far as I'm concerned, Howard did an indispensable thing that day. Why are you asking? No particular reason, just thought it might give me some insight into the kind of person you are. Well, that's the kind of person I am, just your average New Yorker. So it seems. Well then, I'll leave you and Mr. Payne to your plans on conquering the city. Now that's spicy, Anderson. I love this girl. She's going to go far, I tell you. She's got that spunk, that glint in her eye. Goodbye, Miss Swarovski. I wish you a pleasant respite and a swift success in your investigation. Good night. I make a point of it to bow to Anderson's servants, not the man himself. Doubt he even notices, but at least the invisible display of rebellion makes me feel a little better about myself. Alright, fast did I leave the bear. Julie, father, how are you holding up? I'm fine, stumbling around and hoping for a miracle to happen, like always. Better no place to ask for a miracle than behind these gates, you know. So I hear. As I pass him a report, Alicing and Agfon, I look around, but Bennett does not seem to be seen. Where's Bennett? Huh. Where's the clown? You mean Bennett? Yeah, the one you said, not me. You're the one who said it, not me. In another parish, taking care of some personal issues for me, though you might appreciate that. God, I really do. Listen, can't you think of something to placate him? Placate him how exactly? Bennett won't accept anything less I join a convent. He's like a worrying parent, basically a jester here and there, showing up to the church from time to time, pretending to be listening would get him off your case. I mean, I've been through that song and dance before, with my own worried parents when I was a teenager, wandering in the forest until mass was over, not even being able to smoke because they'd pick up the scent. Not my best moment of life, you know, and part of the reason I'm distancing myself from them. I don't need this fake energy in my life, and I'm honestly weirded out by you asking me to lie. I'm not asking you to lie, Julie. Let me ask you this. Are you a spiritual person? I guess so. I guess I am, kind of. Always was. Suddenly being able to see ghosts did not change a thing. I think mostly because seeing the world as purely material seemed boring to me somehow. You are, and you were raised Catholic, so you can't find a way to express that spirituality in our church? I don't see a right way now. And why is that? I sigh. Too many people think a soul needs to be saved because I live with a woman for starters. I don't know. There's a lot of reasons. Like a sin of drinking blood every night, or feeling some primal fear whenever you walk by a clergyman whose faith seems particularly actually genuine. That's that one sounds like an excuse. It's about your relationship with God, not other people. In theory, but back in the old country, I've heard shares of homilies that felt like conventions of my kind, and none that would condemn the hate towards people like me. And when the church adjacent people try to stir shit around your very existence every month, some minimal support would be appreciated. Sorry, only you can count on me as silent competence. I get it. I know there's a lot of work to be done and a lot of undeserved hurt going around, but listen, I don't want to talk about it. I fucking hate the tone I use when I talk about it. I hate I sound preachier than those preachers, and my biggest dreams is just not is just not giving a shit. But I remember things, like the story about a guy from my hometown, most macho guy around, with a jaw like could sharpen a knife on, became an actor in Warsaw, very successful, deservingly so. The capital might not be NYC, but it's still a big C, and big C's go to the heads of bumpkins like us. In his case, it resulted in a dream of coming out to his parents. He was surrounded by all these stories of open queer people, played ones even, so he thought he had a chance to make it work. So he goes back to his town, tells everyone he's going to live this truth. His dad, ruling party adjacent businessman, curses him. His uncle takes him into the bushes and starts to destroy him physically. It's so bad, he gets put in the ICU. His face and jaw got ruined for good. Fast forward a few years, with his career over, the guy is stuck in his parents' rustic house with no other path to follow. He turns to God, who tells him to forgive his kind. Everything is fine again. Angelic choir sings of divine mercy. A kind-looking priest talks about protecting our families. A man sits in the front row of the church, a disfigured smile on his face. But the story alone doesn't drive me away. The only time when I saw him, how blissful he was. I could swear he was actually able to hear God whispering to him. He looked like a saint. It fucked me up so bad I left. I feel nauseous now. Maybe I'm reeling from hearing about Kara and Jesse Montgomery. No, if you could never talk to me about it again, that'd be great. I know I tend to sound like a loser who loves to pontificate about shit I can't change, but at least I can keep trying to change myself, damn it. I won't offer empty platitudes, but I think I understand why I was meant to understand. I hope I haven't insulted you anyway. Whatever. I'll learn not to hold on to personal responsibility for what the rest of the organization is doing. It would be hard to look into a mirror otherwise. There's not much I could see in the mirror now. I'm just wondering about one thing. There's always a cross on your chest. I like how it goes with my outfit. It's a fashion accessory to you? Something. It's a memento reminding me of a broken promise, that's all. I won't inquire further. Good. Good night, Father. I find her sitting on my bed, scrolling through Pinterest on her phone. So how did it go, detective? I fell on the bed, burying my face in pillows and scream. That bad? I don't want to tell her about Double Spiral. I still have to figure out how I feel about it. I'm just not cut out for this. Shut up if you aren't. Who is this? Sherlock Holmes. Hercule Poirot. Columbo. Maxon's boyfriend from Hannibal. Whatever his name was. I don't know. Someone who can actually put two and two together. You can't fool me into believing you're incompetent, you dumbass. I've read your articles. Don't pretend you're suddenly forgot to do your job. I haven't. There's no evidence, no witnesses, no promising leads. Nothing, just stumbling around, assuming things, talking big, blah. So you're like, I don't know, Jack Nicholson in Chinatown. And he actually solved his case. And then he wishes he never took it up. Was that supposed to cheer me up? I'm just saying, there's situations that sound awful and a lot like Chinatown. Deprived elites, big plans of the sea, blah blah blah. Yeah, and that's oddly depressing. It is what it is. I just think you should approach it in a way and look for a solution to your problems outside of the box. Not a mystery, but maybe a trap to escape. Maybe. I throw myself on the bed again and lie there for a bit, staring at the ceiling. I approach Dakota from behind and tug at her sleeve, drawing her attention. Hey, put the phone away. Come on, Jules. We can't do this every night. I've got my own work, and I need to worry about amnesia. You said it yourself. Besides, I was just looking for inspiration. I rub against the clothes on my face like a cat. You're impossible. Haven't you noticed what's going on in the news? People are going virtually saying about this virus, cancelling trips and orders and wait a minute. COVID? Pretty please? I can't, honey. I have to replenish my stash, and besides, I'm worried about overuse. My brain is working a bit too slow. I'm off balance. I was only thinking about how I miss meditation. She gives me a clear signal that she wants an excuse, and even though it'd be a reasonable thing to do, I know she's indecisive. She's usually one who takes the initiative. Let us try a final push. I bite her ear and whisper in it, no drugs tonight. Let's do this for all. She throws her hands in the air at victory. Jesus, you're greedy these days. Always have been. Haven't you noticed? That was not cool, Julie. Bit uncomfortable there. Sorry, I'm just taking a drink. Ugh. You're up early, Julie. You're up early. Yeah, I told you I got work to do. I stretch. That's admirable. Reminds me of one quote you always used to throw around. A lot of people say you can't smoke dope and get drunk when you're kids. That's not true. You can do it, but you still gotta get up in the morning. That's being responsible. That's one thing. I never understood why it was so hilarious to you. Neither did I. I just accepted the mystery and made it my personal credo. So I'm a responsible person. Are you planning to have kids? No, in a million years. By the way, you got mail. An envelope through the door from Kadar. Inside the message says you won't be able to be back tonight, but he rendezvous tomorrow to meet D'Angelo. He wants me to lay low until then and stay in the apartment if possible. Apparently, nobody knows where Tamaka is. They only know that she's in trouble and doesn't want me near it. Well, what is it? Got the next lead to my investigation. Looks like I need to hit the town. Next lead, probably useless, but investigation continues. It'd be fun to spread some more time together, you know. Dakota, you know this is important to me. I know, but I'd like to know I'm important to you as well. That makes for two of us. Just a few more days. I'll make the killer kick his ass. Find the killer, kick his ass, get a promotion, and we'll do something we've never done before. Like what? Good question. I'll think of something. For now, just catch up with your work. I'll be getting going. Fine. Good luck. Stay safe. You know it. This place is weirdly empty tonight. Ah well. I'll have the usual. I feel there's a big what are we doing in this relationship talking if I don't change my ways. Honestly, I'm surprised it hasn't happened already. But most of the time, Dakota seems happy enough just listening to my stories of my own life. Even if it's boring and normal to me, it's exotic and engrossing to her. I guess I have something going. Ah well. I have no idea what I'm doing tonight. I'll just do the obvious thing and wing it. The vagabond shoes are longing to stray right through the very heart of it. Or have it. That one. These slashes, by the way, if you... I don't know if any... Like, this is weird to bring them up because we've had a poem before. These slashes are line breaks in poems if you're writing it as not line by line, but doing it in, like, paragraph form. They're shown for line breaks. So you read it as, these vagabond shoes are longing to stray right through the very heart of it. I did poetry as in university. So, you know, I do love sharing my interest in poems, but I don't really get to a lot. Like, the closest I could do is Let's Write Poetry stream, but I don't know if that'd be interesting. However, everyone, time to lose myself in the busy streets and pry that answer I'm looking for out there. And if they're not, maybe I'll find some amusement or blood instead. God, Prince of Cats. I'm going to resolve this thing with Dakota. As if going around in circles on behalf of a call wasn't stressful enough. Maybe a visit to a quiet neighborhood may help me clear my mind. No, I don't want to be part of a goddamn interview. Look, can I bother you? Okay, so let's do this. Because I actually... There it is. The distinct vibe of Manhattan's residential area. Sniff. An unmistakable sense of casserole enveloping the surroundings in heavy aura. The atmosphere is desolate, making me feel more like purgatory than it's not that's not a single soul in sight. And crap, looks like I'm not alone after all. Some guy exerts himself climbing a nearby tree. I instinctively take a step into the shadows by remaining outside of his line of sight, but I can barely see anything from where I stand. Move closer. My inner voyeurism is squirming for more details. I move a few steps closer into the shadows. For a good while, all I can hear is heavy panting. Come on, dude. This oak isn't even that tall. Sure, it's like the first time the guy's ever tried to climb a tree. It takes a long time for the mystery of a trespasser steadied and bathed and carried on. As soon as he crawls out of the tree crown, the dim streetlights reveals the face of a young guy in his early 20s. Against the suspicious speculation of the night sky, and his exaggerated torment romanticized glaze, he truly looks like a hero befitting a cover of a Harlequin paperback. He sizes up one of the long branches, as it's being sturdy enough, and nearly reaches a narrow window for a second floor. Still, the guy hesitates. And no biggie, just eye on the prize. He moves forward along the branch as his feet slip every other step on his way towards the window. By some experiment fluke, he manages to keep his balance. Once he makes it far enough, the branch slowly bends under his weight. He knees down, probably calculating his chance of making it over the windowsill. My guy, if you pull this off, it'll be a legit miracle. What? Is someone there? Ah shit, should have been more careful. The trespasser pivots, startled by the sound of my voice. Just as he notices me, he loses his footing and dives straight off the front yard near the house. Ah shit! He drops onto the ground in a muffled thump. Luckily for him, the lawn hasn't been trimmed for a while, so the tall grass cushions him somewhat. As soon as he recovers, the guy gets up, starts limping towards the fence. He tries to climb over, but quickly ends up on the ground, clutching his leg in pain. He turns to me and starts begging under his nose. Hey you! Ah shit! Please, I'm hurt. Could you do me a solid and open the gate? Well, with his ankle twisted, he's not getting out of this mess on his own. And it's not like I'm particularly law-abiding. Yeah, sure. So why shouldn't I help him? Just stay where you are, don't move. I don't know how to. Just shut the fuck up and relax, I got this. In 2 swift bound steps, I reach the front gate. Obviously, it's locked. But it's not like ever stopped me before. Once I'm sure no one can see me, I force my strength on the gate and pry it open with a quick crank, announcing that the lock has been given. The extraction goes smoothly, as it ever could. I get in quickly, take the guy in his arms, and help him slowly limp out the front yard. I go before it. I let go of him a few steps later. He leans against the fence with a noticeable relief. Ah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. What the hell are you doing up there? Well, this is embarrassing. More than falling on your ass like that? He chuckles slightly and looks up at the window, the same ones he was trying to reach a moment ago. This is gonna sound pathetic as hell, but my crush lives in that house. His shithead father kind of hates my guts, so we gotta keep this secret. Because of her folks nagging, she can't seem to make up her mind about us. She explained told us not to swing by her house, but so he thought it'd be a good idea to climb the walls on keeping her like a goddamn Prince Charming breaking your neck in the front yard. My raw gets to him. Yeah, but what can I do? Give up on her when in my heart of hearts I know she loves me just as much as I love her. It ain't easy being this cheesy. She got you good, huh? Now she does, well. I hope I don't break it. I don't want to break the windows for instance. Listen. Oh, I was gonna click on throw a rock. Never mind. You look like a big boy. You can act tough and confront her father. What? Like right now? No, you bozo. Fix your leg first. Rehearse the best damn speech of your life and talk your way through his prejudice. Even if it fails, at least you showed some guts. Dads like that, you know. Daughters too. Shit, man. I guess you're right. There's no point in denying the inevitable, is there? He nods to me with gratitude and waves his hand goodbye before limping off to wherever he lives. Even though my hunger entices me, I do not follow. At least my peeping eyes scored another victory tonight. What a cute story, heartwarming, nostalgic. It's just too bad it's too cliche to steal my writing. What? You don't write anymore? Yeah, but it's not like you could simply stop thinking like a writer. Like I gotta use this energy somewhere else somehow. But for now, let's just start heading downtown. All of a sudden, the world ends. Everything stops. I'm lost in darkness and there's not a heartbeat to guide me. It's like sleeping paralysis. It feels suddenly like I woke up from reality instead of a dream. Instinctively, I act the same way I used to react whenever I woken up in the middle of the night, aware but unable to move and speak. I wait for it to pass. But instead, slowly regaining control, I just see bizarre room emerging from the darkness. Just look at her. Flesh refusing its fates. It is. It's not the one you were looking for, is it? He was led like a lamb of the slaughter, and as a sheep is silent before shears, he did not open his mouth. There's not even a righteous tone. There is no righteous tone, not even there's none righteous, not even one. There is none one who understands. There is no one who seeks for God. All have turned aside. They have become useless. If anyone crushes his father or mother, he must be put to death. Raging waves from the sea, foaming up from shame, wandering stars for whom reserves the blackest of darkest forever. For we wrestle not against the flesh and blood, but against the principles, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness, of this wolves, against spiritually wicked in high places. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall not flee from them. Whenever I become one of the darkness, there's always these nagging fears that it might be impossible to become the normal me again. That's instead of the shadows returning to normal, I let my consciousness be dragged somewhere else, somewhere between worlds. Somewhere like this, wherever this is. This is the first time that fear has come true. Are you afraid? It is a bad idea to answer. Don't do it. Yes. Ha! Excellent. 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 I think I just need to sit in this chair. I think I need to sit in this chair. Sit in this chair. Sit in the chair. Still, in the lean years and unworthy join the rest. However, the path is open, and it's the path of obligation, liability, a debt that will be repaid one day. And she will ask you what brought you here. Let your response be a scent of death. Suddenly I feel my mind beginning to drift away from here. I am slowly starting to regain control over my thoughts. No, you aren't. Yes, I am. Fine, whatever you want. I find myself in darkness corner against a cold, wet brick wall. I think I'm conscious again. Back from wherever it was. Back in an unfamiliar place. Well, let's just hope I'm still in New York City. I emerge from the shadows to see where I am. A source of light above my head momentarily blinds me, causing me to instinctively raise my hand. As I do, some sort of garbage bag with my hand in it with my hand. It falls to the floor, letting loose a metallic ding. What the fuck? A woman. I feel her hand grab my clothes. She brutally drags me closer. With one of my hands already above my head, I raise the other one. Easy, peace. I mean no harm. How long have you been there? I don't know. I've got no idea what I'm doing here, or in general, really. It's like sometimes the forces I control figure out how to control me. Why are you a junkie? No, you're a kindred. Yeah. Keep your shit together, goddamn. I'm Julie Swarovski, the representative of La Sombra in New York City. Camarilla? I'm the Camarilla's investigator. Well, if you come to catch me, you're going to be sorry you tried, Miss La Sombra. No, stop right there. I wasn't ordered to catch anybody. I'm just investigating Douglas Cahine's death. This surprises her. She loosens her grip. Cahine's dead? Nothing left but a rotted carcass on a musty robe. Well, I'll be damned. I've been off the grid for too long. What brought you here? A memory from a different world pops into my head. I think I know the right answer. A scent of death. She lets me go. I rub my eyes, finally getting a good look at her face. Oh, it's Tamaka. She's gorgeous. And judging by nomadic clothes and particularly fierce aura, she's probably an outlander. We'll have to talk, you and I. Sure, what's your name? Tamaka. Pass me a smoke, will you? If only I could, my heart would skip a beat right now. Tamaka, I guess. Once again, someone out there led me to the proper path. Yeah, sure. When I passed her a cigarette, I realize I'm standing in something wet. Something that smells tasty. I look at my feet and I'm in a puddle of water mixed with blood. Oh, I get it. Were those guys first light? The high-powered guns and expensive-looking outfits, flashbangs, tasers, all chosen specifically to combat the undead. I recognize the equipment from the horror stories I've heard. First Light, SI, USS USCOM, whatever they call themselves, they bleed all the same, usually before they have a chance to ask a single question. Government-funded Inquisition. Some claim they have connection to the US government. Some claim they're supported by an anti-kindred faction of the Holy See. Some have even wilder theories. Did you do this all by yourself? Have you seriously seen nothing? Nothing at all? I shake my head. Believe it or not, I have no idea how I got here. I'm just kind of letting my shadows guide me. Is that a Sombra thing? I've never actually talked to any of you. No idea what you guys can actually do. Still learning the ropes myself. Go with the flow and all. My embrace was just a few months ago. So you're the folks with the Ivory Tower now. Last I checked, you were the Sabat. The Camis wouldn't forgive you for all the trouble you caused them overnight. Again, I'm practically still a neonate. I still don't know there's a lot of bad blood between the clan and the others, and that's why I can expect at least one glare of pure contempt whenever I visit Asylum. Ah, I see. Oh god, my throat. We smoke in silence for a short while. So did you kill them all by yourself? You don't answer my question. Do you kill them all by yourself? Yeah, I've been hunting these guys for the past few months. Isn't that extremely dangerous? Almost got me good last year. Took me a few weeks to get back in action. Then why are you doing this? Those motherfuckers have an unfortunate tendency to hurt people I care about. My brothers, my sisters. I see. I don't know how it's in other seas, but here, funny enough, they only seem to target marginalized and radicalized kindred, the ones who could theoretically pose a threat to the current order. Meanwhile, the established ones in New York City hasn't really changed over since the Solea Bros stopped down. Quite the opposite. Every IS raid in the sea has only strengthened the old paradigm. Almost makes me think their goal is something other than protecting the citizens from a blank body menace. Tamak throws a cigarette into the puddle, unfinished, and crushes it under her heel. She's obviously has a difficult smoking. It's like she's only ever tried it a few times. I assume she caught me carrying a pack and decided to try it to calm her nerves after the battle. Or maybe she wanted to excuse to make our conversation less awkward, who knows. So you're planning on snitching on me, Shadow Girl? And why would I do that? Let me get it straight. You really think I'm dumb enough to believe for a second that the Cameroon investigator would just so happen to stumble upon an alley where I killed a bunch of SA motherfuckers? If so, you're the one who's dumb, sister. I don't care if you think I'm dumb. I don't care about the SI. And I don't care about if you believe if this was a happy accident. I met you, especially I meet you, especially considering I'm not even the sheriff. Who knows where you are? I care about solving the mystery of Karen's death, and it so happens you're one of the pieces of the puzzle. What are you talking about? I found this on her body. Well, what remains of it. I show her the note. She tries to grab it and read it, but I don't let her. Aside from your name, you got Hope, Agathon, and D'Angelo. You know them? Passingly. Any idea why Gawain would need a list of all your names? I might know why, yeah? Do you? Absolutely. Do you know a man going by the name of Talk? Huh. Of course I do. Do you know about the connection to Boss Gawain and by proxy this less than me? No, I'm all ears. Well, too bad, because it's classified intel, sister. What do you mean by classified? Not free. Oh great, as if I were in position to or could afford any sort of quid pro quo. But let's hear it. What do you want? She motions towards the bodies. I've killed too many of these assholes. The timing their screw as it is. New York City is no longer safe for someone like me. Well, not that it ever has. Oh man, bracing for something unreasonable. What I need is a way out of the city. You offer that to me, I can give you your intel. Huh, would you look at that? That's something I can handle, actually, yeah. She raises an eyebrow. That's a surprisingly confident answer for practically still a neonate. I'm something of an immigration officer. Gotta say, you're awfully close to a cop. Almost as bad, a bureaucrat. I know a secret pathway that would lead you to the West Coast, 100% safe travel. If you took it, you'd be untraceable. Sounds too good to be true. What's the catch? Wait until you see how much it costs. The only reason I know of this route is because a certain Nazi criminal group reached out to me on account of position, and I offered them a mutually beneficial deal regarding illegal kindred travel. Normally I'd refuse, but Wolf had offered me the only thing that I could afford, a lot of cash. Fine, money's not an issue. That's something I've never had a chance to say in earnest. Okay then. So who helps who first? Alright, it's a deal. Who scratches whose back first? She ponders the question for a good while, studying me before she decides to respond. Have you met Talk before? In the course of your investigation or before? I wanted to, but I'm on the outside. I only managed to meet Maya, and she wasn't keen on the idea of the two of us meeting. Yes, Maya. Her expression betrays some vicious stories to tell, but it would be naff to divulge them. Too bad. Maybe it could be a bonding experience. So here's the thing. 2 months ago, Talk and I were together, and things happened. And long story short, I no longer feel close to him. But from what I know, he still feels close to me. Back when I thought there might be something between us, I gave him a ring, and a ring that has a lot of sentimental value to me. And since these days, sometime days, all these things kept going. I want it back. So my suggestion is, tell Talk's people I sent you to get inside the base of operations, meet with them, ask your questions, and convince them to give my ring back. You get to interrogate him, then I get to have my ring back, and you get to hear my side of the story. Then I get to leave the city with your help. Everyone wins, more than once. They will really let me in just because I tell them you sent me? They will, trust me. That sounds too easy. What caused the two of you to drift apart? Inconsiderable differences in worldview. Well, I assume that's diplomatic answer. If I'm going to get involved myself in a relationship drama of two ex-lovers, I'll need something more to go on. Will you? Yeah. She picks her words carefully. I realized I'd become an element of his carefully crafted projected image. Having me as a radical partner allowed him to present himself as a mediator while paying lip services to revolutionary ideas. A mediator. That's 21st century for you. Everyone wants to be a middleman these days. Nobody wants to do what's right. You're serious. Whenever I hear about Talk from Ankiel, they talk about him like he's the second coming of Mao. If he ever seemed that way, it's because from time to time, people like me push him into doing uneasy things. Ever heard of the Southern Wolf and the Northern Fox? One of them wants to eat you for dinner, but only the Southern Wolf makes it immediately obvious. The tricky Northern Fox makes eyes and allows you to pet him before taking a bite. Talk loves surrounding himself with Northern Foxes. They talk of compromise. They seem reasonable compared to opposition, but at the end of the day, they have their eyes on the same prize, power. Hearing this gives me a foreboding feeling, but I can't quite nail down why. Alright, tell me where to go. I'll tell you where we'll meet later. Black. I'm just chilling at talks when suddenly a shrill, loud voice pierces my eardrums. And what the hell are you doing here? Oh yay, it's pissy little lady who talks in a circle. I'm here to see Talk. I figured as much. You should have gone through the security first. Get out. And what if he tells me to stay? Fat chance. Move your ass before I throw you out. Mia, wow, Talk has changed. Mia, it's okay. There he is, walking out the door, one of the most infamous New York City's barons, whereas some people started to call him the momentarily in Mayor's End, the Baron of New York City. Talk, we've talked about this, the situation is a bit different now. Tamika Center. What? Bullshit. I wasn't able to track it down for weeks. Well, I did. This is reason to celebrate, not to get mad. Now, if you allow the two of us for a private conversation, no way. I want to keep an eye on her. Will you keep an eye on the exit, and that'll be enough, please? He puts on his best authoritative tone and it works. No one protests this time. Mia leaves the room. I'm sorry about her. She can be overzealous, but usually that's not a bad thing. Yeah, sure. So she told you I've been trying to reach you for a few nights? I didn't think so, have you? Well, I'm not the dumbass of the court. I'm the dumbass the court ordered to investigate Calling's final death, so considering your connection to the case, I thought it'd be present for us to talk. Oh, so that's you. Yeah. Now, I know you're probably anxious to hear about Tamaka. I'm surprised to hear you two know each other. We actually met through this investigation. Anyway, as was saying, I know you probably can't wait to hear about her, but I'd like to ask you a few questions first. I understand, do your job. Do you know Douglas Callan? Of course I did. We're both barons. Kept having professional obligations to meet each other, but that was it. What's your private opinion on him? Same as everyone else. A racist clown, mentally stuck in the 19th century, who spent too much time keeping the anarchs down. I'm glad he's gone. You mean he's glad he met his final death? Well, you know what they say. Hate to see you go, love to watch you leave. Weren't you the first kindred who saw his corpse? Yes, I was, but his ghoul was the first who found him. By the way, we've established some of the tampering with the crime scene. They were properly disciplined for that. Convenient story, let's move on. What's your alibi for that night? None. I was running around the entire night, taking care of various issues unrelated to Calais, but I don't intend to divulge some of them of Ivory Tower. So you've no interest of proving yourself innocence? My official position was made clear. It's Camarilla who are to blame. It's your job to prove me wrong. Quaramark, at least for once I can face a problem can be solved with pure logic, not politics. Any findings on your side I should know of? Ask Mia, she's the one who handled the murder scene. I'm not privy to the details. Hope, D'Angelo, Agathon, any idea who these people are? Can't recall, sorry. Evidence I found suggests his potential link between Calais and Tamaka. Any clue? I knew both of them well, but as far as I know, they've never met. That's it. Oh well, not sure what I expected. He's the kind of guy that could be pushed to talk if I had something concrete to push him with. Time to move on. Well, regarding Tamaka, finally. I'll cut straight to the case. She wanted to me inform you that she was skipping town for a while. That's why I hot on the trail and she needed to lose them ASAP. Oh. I've told her countless times, if she's in danger, I'll always be there for her. Does she think she can find a secure way out of the city in this situation? She's safe. So you say. She's got some other friends in higher places. She'll manage to get out. Got to admit, that's not what I expected to hear, or what I wanted to hear. Why did she decide to contact me? She wants her ring back. His aura changes in the blink of an eye. Ah, I see now. That's why she didn't show up herself. She wouldn't even face me when delivering her final insult. Oh, looks like I stepped on the landmine. She said the ring was a symbol of trust she put in me. No way in hell I'm giving it back away. Not until she gives me a chance to explain myself. I need that ring to get Tamaka to talk. But the way he's acting, it doesn't look like he's willing to part with it. It might require me to act shitty, but maybe time to change my approach. No, be brutally honest. Fuck it, here we go. Listen, you're obviously the hottest new thing in town. People like you follow you. You set the anarch people to think they think you're. People follow you. You're the set to be anarch people think when they think of New York City. Good for you. But you're obviously way behind when it comes to understanding relationships. Tamaka gave it a serious try. She understands her path. She understands yours. She realized that they're diametrically opposed. And that's that. And that's not going to change her mind by acting like a toxic shithead and forcing her to come grovel at your feet if she wants to get back something that has great sentimental value to her. You want to earn her trust? Don't act like a power-tripping asshole. Show her that you're capable of responding to her concerns and that you're capable of being selfless. That's the only thing you can do to change her mind. Sorry. Okay, I'm done. Ah, fuck me in my big mouth. Ugh. He approaches the door and throws it wide open. Maya, yes, boss? We're done here. Lead the lady out as quick as possible. Yes, boss. I have a lot of things to say to describe his behavior, but I don't want to cause a diplomatic incident. No need. I'm going. Thanks for your time. Tell her I'll show her she's wrong. Tell her I'll prove myself worthy of that ring if it's the last thing I do. Whatever. I'll let myself be led out of the building by Maya. Another mission failed. Time to meet Tamaka and tell her the bad news. I find it already waiting in front of a Jewish museum. So how did it go? Let me put it this way. I'm not surprised you dumped him. So you did not succeed. Nah, he got mad inside, yelling about how he will yet to prove himself of being worthy of that gift. Then he ran me out of the building. Is she trying to stop herself from laughing? What's so funny? Nothing. I'll be honest, I kind of expected that. It's just nice to be define circumstances. He's still a bit of a toxic asshole, that's all. Well, I'm glad I fell for the oldest trick in the book. Would be cool if for once a kindred telling me to do something wouldn't mean another thing entirely. Don't be mad. I wanted to be sure of something, and now I am. As far as I'm concerned, you kept your end of the bargain, so it's time for me to repay. Last year, a certain fledgling... Okay, cool. I'll think on the fledgling. A certain fledgling appeared in the city and attempted to build a quarry. The list you found on Cain, the list they got. They contacted each of us and found themselves in deep shit. S.I. Kaiser, Sophie Langley, some shadow players manipulation, everyone from behind the scenes. Then they disappeared. Kaiser, that name popped up once again. It might be can't be a coincidence. No one knows where or why. Don't really matter. That happens when you punch way above your weight. Hope's doing fine despite all the odds. In any case, Tor got involved too. That's how I met him. Actually, he got hurt. Didn't want to say how. Claimed that he could put anyone who he knew in danger. Whatever happened, it gave him a drive and desire for change. For 2 months, he was a beautiful kindred, plain and simple. And suddenly, something in him snapped overnight. His tone mellowed. His actions became timid. Language became more befitting of a political science student than a charismatic leader. I assumed he met someone who made him an offer he couldn't refuse, but I had no idea who it was. And then one night, I followed him when he went out, and I saw him at the docks with Caroline. When he came back, we had agreement. When he refused to explain himself, I was on my way out, and that was that. I understand. Wish I'd known that earlier. Might have confronted him with facts and learned something more. He never told me of all kindred. What makes you think he would have told you? She's got a point, I suppose. Alright, now it's my turn. Here's your way out. I point out the manhole below our feet. It's a map of the sewers, follow the route, then burn it. You're looking for one-eyed Nosferatu wearing tactical gear. Tell him I sent you, then give him the agreed amount of money. What kind of route will I be taking anyway? An armor van full of precious coffins. My man knows how to arrange them to fall on no extra cargo. Her face darkens. The circulatory system. What did you expect? The rich and powerful always get the blood they want, one way or another. At least tonight, one of their routes will be used for something good. She drops her shoulders and resigns and opens up a manhole cover. Fine, but remember, if this doesn't work, I'll be back at your doorstep with vengeance. If it's the last thing I do. I'm sure it'll work out fine. Just beware of the giant albino alligator while you're down there. Oh, that's still down there. Cool to know. Tamaka rolls her eyes. Sewer ghoul gators? For your information, it's just a story New York kindred tell neonates mess with them while they're still gullible enough to believe anything they hear about their new world. That's not true. We fought them in Redemption. Oh, that makes sense, I suppose. Well, goodbye. If in a few months you hear the first light presence in Los Angeles is being disseminated, assume against all odds I'm still unalive and kicking. If you're killing indiscriminately, you might cross a line of no return, you know? Shouldn't you take it easy for a while? Not until my brothers and sisters in blood stop being slaughtered. I care about what's left of my humanity, but turning a blind eye to kindred in need would never be less of human. So that's the kind of person she is, and probably will be until the very end. It must be comforting in a way, to know your path will end, yet to follow the same. I could never do that. Here's some parting advice. We might be monsters. We may even be lucky enough to be born into a world even with monsters than we are. If we rebel against it, we might still find salvation. If I could still believe. Didn't expect you to a preaching tone. Why are you telling me this? Because I think I have a pretty good nose for people's auras. And when I take a good look at you, I smell the possibility that you'll give into fear of the dark version of your future you've conjured in your head. It's not that much, it's a hunch, but you seem prone to giving into the camera's empty promises of safety and their petty bougie values. I think I should take offense to that. I hope you do. The world reflects on you in any case. Whatever happens. See you in the next life, Julie. Safe travels to Mecca. I skipped tonight's visit to church. I'm not in the mood for Bernats. I'm still embarrassed about yesterday's outburst. I'm kind of pissed none of the clan elders in Chicago bothered to reply to any of my fucking reports. No advice, no feedback, nothing. I feel like I feel like I'm utterly alone. Besides, it's late. I've always got to get back to the apartment early in the morning, right before it gets bright. It's getting risky to be out here so close to sunrise. Accidents can happen. I'll get back early tomorrow night. Attempt to surprise Dakota, yeah. And back. Yay! How's work? All caught up? I managed to get to deadlines postponed. All our clients are cancelling and denying orders left and right. Does that mean you'll have time to help me with my makeup tomorrow? We'll see. Perfect. Alright, I need to disappear before sun catches with me. Hey, yeah? I love you. Oh. Uneasy silence falls on the room. I'm not getting out of this one, am I? No. I have to. I don't have to lie to the Baron of New York City tonight. I didn't lie to the Baron of New York City. Did we get a new trait? Honesty is the best policy. Okay, cool. I didn't lie to the Baron of New York City tonight, so I'm not gonna lie to her. I know. She flashes a sad, forced smile as I leave to rest. Oh, that's depressing. We had 4 nights. So this is like coming up to the 3rd or 4th one. If I didn't have things to do later today, I'd probably carry on and finish it. I've reached Big Meat Burger, hoping to replicate a few all of the mental damages coming over the past few days. Only to find the doors locked and nobody inside. No. I need this soothed. I need my routine. You're absolutely kidding me. Closed? What the fuck do you mean closed? I mean, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Everything's closed. Pandemic? What pandemic? Do you live under a fucking rock? The new SARS virus straight from China. The whole world is going crazy over it. People are dying left and right. Holy shit. I didn't know something like this could happen in the day and age. Wow, this feels fueled by the pandemic. You know, it came around right around that. Somehow it feels like we're beyond it. Well, I guess it's lucky I'm dead. I walk away to avoid being more attention to myself. Now I understand why NYC feels downright apocalyptic tonight. It's like Star Trek experiment to see the familiar streets empty and abandoned. Well, let's see the parts of the city still alive in the middle of a plague. I'm just reading these. Let's see this one. I entered for full of sneaking through a hospital to see how things appeared closed, but it looks like an actual war zone, so I decided against it. I don't know what I expected with the way healthcare reforms have been going in the state. Fewer facilities, poorer areas, fewer beds, less funding. We're just reaping what they've sown. That's why I used to honestly consider going back to the old country. An American friend was like, "Why would you go back to that shithole?" He was like shocked to learn to have normal free healthcare. Anyway, if an active hospital won't do, might well be a smallpox hospital on Roosevelt Island, built to quarantine the poor and unloved victims of pandemics, always normal citizens' eyes. In spite of despair, or maybe partly because of it, the architecture still manages to perfectly convey the building's painful history. There are ghosts here. There are mostly the good metaphorical kind, not the kind I usually see. Looks like there still might be a lone physical being here. I hear someone sneaking through the ruins. That's that for my peace and quiet. Oh well, I needed to state my first anyway. How do I approach this person? Through the shadows. I become one with the shadows. I let the following the void take me to the direction of the first steps. Eventually, a female shape appears in front of my eyes. Slowly, I emerge from the darkness behind her back. What? Only to spook my target the moment I do. In a panic, she drops something into the floor. It breaks into 1,000 little pieces. God, don't scare me like that. I'm sorry. Look what you made me do. She kneels out to pick pieces of some ugly glass sculpture. The shape is familiar. What was that? Was that a Scrooge McDuck figurine? Yes, it was. Carl Bark design. They only stopped making these decades ago. You don't know how long it took me to find it. I was really looking forward to decorating my haven with this. A Scrooge McDuck? Yeah, it's Pop Art, okay? Haven, of course. Now I realized what I couldn't put into words. I was feeling that she might be kindred. She seems airheaded and eccentric, but I wouldn't want to pick a fight with her. Cool orange. I apologize. My name's Julie. I'm the La Sombra representative of the city. Fun fact, her character design is based on a character from Fey. Well, not Fey, Shiki. It's in the Fey universe. She's based on, I forget what name, but it was like the big vampire of that series. Some represent goes, you are absolutely horrible first impression. Somehow we've never met before. You live here? I prefer to keep my things myself these nights. More time for hobbies if you hide in secluded places like this. What's your name? Just call me Princess. Princess. My true name is for friends only. And after you destroyed my treasure, I count you as a sworn enemy. When I least expect it, I will find you, and I will trap you in a reality of eternal pain. That's a reference to Shiki. I should complain to the court at least. Honestly, tell me how Lee decided to look for a replacement. So sorry, it won't clear, huh? Gwadar sure would be thrilled to see Prince Harleen assigned to me with a mission to look after a rare Scrooge McDuck statue, but prefer to avoid that kind of fate if it didn't seem very likely. How can I make it up to you? I feel like I should search for a replacement online or... However, I'm not gonna lie to you, I prefer not to stay mad for long. I'm exhausted and it's a threat to your beauty, both inner and outwards. So yeah, I'm gonna ask you for a small favor, then we'll be square. And I won't have to worry about becoming ugly, and you won't have to worry about becoming ugly. Sounds good? Well, favor. See, I'm super into low art these days. That's why I collect stuff like Scrooge McDuck lamps. And I used to be a hardcore high art before. Studied the harmonic structure of Bach's canates. Taught myself Albrecht just to weep over Middle Eastern poetry. Read a lot of Joyce and Avalon, etc., etc. Eventually, all these hobbies got boring, as all things do. So I switched it up now. Comic books, heavy rock music, modern Hollywood movies. You know, stuff that makes small children, basically. Problem is, I think I'm still not low enough. There's still much more mystery of this form. Too much restraint, too much respectability, too much tastefulness. I want to feel a rush of gazing into the soul of someone unwilling to admit true gigantic desire and obsession. So I want the lowest kind of art you can find. Just sweep me off my feet and we'll be good. Not the kind of request I expected, but how low is too low? There's nothing is too low. Okay. Back when I was alive, I refused to advance from a guy living outside his struck. He definitely still owes me incredibly low. He still owes me some incredibly low art. But what exactly should I get for her? The thing is, an anime DVD is the correct answer here. Fantasy books aren't the lowest of the low. Generic fantasy tends to have a lot of unsavory tropes, but like, again, unsavory tropes are just built upon a bill. A video game, most video games aren't really too dark or like what she wants. Anime's way to go, and look at me, I'm an anime fan, but what she's describing, she wants anime, because, you know. Okay, I'll be back in a jiffy. It takes me a few hours to get over there, wake him in the middle of the night, mess with his head a little, and get back with appropriate low-key of work. So I got you something. Don't be shy, what is it? I passed him a DVD handbook to a busty hand-drawn girl licking a giant katana. According to the description he printed for me, this kind of thing is named, is this actually a real thing? Because the description is vague enough it could be several things. But is this actually a real thing? Because this has referenced real stuff before. Ryusu. No, Dekabon. So, giant something. Is this real or is this... No, it's not real. It's not real. The closest is what looks like a Journey to the West thing, but that's not But that's just a Journey to West children's show. You know, it happens. What's for Twitter? No. Okay. Someone just talking about this scene. Okay, cool. That's fine. I'm not gonna say it. Sorry, not real. The cover says Lilith's carnal. The cover says Lilith's carnal cradle. Yeah, no idea what the name was written like that anyway. Nai's original video animation presents a tale of big, bosom samurai warriors traveling through America in search of General Harvested, the Incubus King. Don't let all the titular misguide you. The main draw of the priest's action is nearly avant-garde. Okay, so this is not like if I was to give an anime, this is me. Probably something from the 80s and the Big Demon Boom. That sounds like what she wants. I forget what it's called. My brain is skipping what that genre boom's called. Avant-garde editing and dialogue that coyly comments on traditional gender roles in anime. Once you see the animation in the final battle, you'll understand why it never fails to seek a Sukaga's fans' heart ablaze. No, Sukaga uncountable in Japanese animation anime. It frequents are noticeably high quality, used in highlight production of important scenes. Ooh. Sukaga's really good. I follow random Sukaga and Precure Sukaga on Twitter because hey, I like seeing fancy animations and I like magical girls, so you know. So yeah, it sure does sound kind of like LOR. Eyes down, I avert for a response. This is great. Is it? Yeah, I have no idea what I'm looking at, but I can feel that utter degeneracy and the naked in its intentions. Just what I need. It's not naked in its intentions though. It wants to cover it up. I've had more than enough of the art trying to dazzle me and win me over or be a stepping stone into someone's illustrations career. I just want something to be screw up. I don't want to impress anyone. I don't want to get anywhere. I just want to vomit out my soul for all freaks like me to see. I think it has its own way. That might be an ultimate form of art. So is my dad paid? I suppose. So can I know your name now? Let me think. Nope. How does she do a heart emoji in real life? Don't know. She turns away and disappears into the night. Well, that was an interesting distraction from all the malice in life. I suppose it's time to go back to miserable business I've been saddled with. We're meeting the last person. The time comes for me to meet up with Kodar and hopefully D'Angelo too. The last position on my list. This better be good. And that is D'Angelo's agency. Looks like a dump. Perfect clan of the hidden. I thought he wasn't hidden. I thought he was missing. And to be honest, I kind of expected the worst. Why would you look for him in the most obvious place? I've been asking around. I've got a hunch. Just trust me and start looking. Fine. Who is this D'Angelo anyway? He's a good man, a useful man. But take it from me. But it took me some time to get used to him. He takes sleuthing very, very seriously. His thing is acting like a indescribable noir detective. I heard it helps him cope with something, but I never felt comfortable tackling the subject. That doesn't sound too quirky by the sea standards. Wait, what is that? There's a rat on the floor, frozen in an unnatural position. Weird shit. Examine it. Despite my disgust, I pick it up the rodent. And that's what being an investigation is all about. Leave no stone unturned. Shut up. This is so gross. What you found? I take a closer look at the rat. It's still alive, but from what I get, it's just stretched out like this, grinding its teeth without a care in the world. That's called bruxing. What? When a rat chatters its teeth, it's called bruxing. He's not acting panicked or aggressive, so I guess he's just happy. I look at his face. I don't know, his eyes keep coming out of the socket and going back in. It looks disgusting. It looks like he's in a lot of pain. So he's boggling. He must be really content. How does he know so much about... Never mind, I'm getting an eerie feeling. This is weird. I have a feeling there's a kindred hiding nearby weird. My thoughts exactly. Quadar slowly approaches a secluded corner of the room. And there it is. He gives a pile of clothes lying on the floor. I'm just a corpse, leave me alone. Lucky for you, we're all corpses here, D'Angelo. You're among friends. Clumsily drunkenly, the pile of clothes transform into an unkept man. Looks like he's suffered from some sort of skin disease. Hey D'Angelo, what's up? You'd a true friend would have just buried me. You know, a true friend would have just buried me. Unlucky for you, we're not that kind of friends. Unlucky, lucky, unlucky, smucky, my ass. Did you guess I was here? See, I've been asking around for the past few days. What I've learned is that... Sorry. For reasons that can be described as nebulous, you made yourself quite a few enemies in the last year. Yeah, tell me something I don't know. And one thing that caught my interest is how everyone has it on good authority that your place was raided a few times while you being found, yet nobody has some responsibility for these acts. Hell, doesn't this den look like it's always been raided? Can't blame for anyone for making an educated assumption. I had a hunch these might be more rumors. See, it sure looks like a convenient coincidence that everyone hears something that makes them look the other way, and coincidences are for fools. You know you got my number, and you can see my ugly mug right in front of you. So it's no use playing dumb, I suppose. Agreed. You spent all weeks hold up here. Is the hunger not getting to you? You've got a lot of critters around this area, and we've become chums. Some of these rats actually got addicted to the kiss. They come to me every night like coke hounds begging for it. Been getting them drunk and just to get a rush out of feeding them feels a bit like slathering a horrible burnt pizza on ketchup. But in this situation, I'll take what I can get. You dig? It's so gross. I failed to keep my poker face. He notices. So who's the dame? Julie Sarcia, detective investigating the Burn Callan's death. He raises his head for a short while to stare at Kodar's eyes and treats me with a vulgar snicker. Phony! So someone had finally put the old man on ice. Whoever did the world a huge favor. Absolutely, but I got orders to establish who it was, and I've been stumbling in the dark for the past few days. We need your help. I'll be damned. Your sleuth skills must really not be up if you're a part begging a bum for me for help. It's an unusual case. How so? It's extremely political. Phony. I asked how it was unusual. It feels like a game was rigged against me from the start. Like I'm bumbling around and achieving nothing while everyone laughs behind my back. Geez, you sound hopeless, kiddo. Haven't you ever read Chandler's book? This is how it always is. Just do your best to endure the embarrassment and hope you guys stumble on the answer by act. He accidentally lets a metal flask out of his hand slip out and falls on the floor, then struggles to pick it up. Kadar can't bear to watch. God, what happened to you, Jenny? I've never seen you this low before. Stress-related disorder causing my disruption in my routine is what a shrink would say. Happens when you get a lot of shitty folks are out to put a stake through your chest. Help us out. Tell us what you know, and we might be able to help you in return. Your respect, where's due, miss? But I think I'm going to be the other way around. I am telling you to shit, pardon my French, until I know I can count on some protection. Jenny. Don't Jenny me, Quidal Sim. I know your level, but I also know your honor is one of the few things you care about. You want me to endanger myself. You want me to endanger myself. You put it on the line for me, and that's what you promise to extend your protection to me, or the moment you step away from here, I sneak away into the sewers, and that's the last time you'll ever see me. Quidar shoots me a weary side glance. I know, he drives a hard bargain, especially for someone whose sense of self-worth does not exactly appear to be sky high at the moment. Maybe, but I do value my own life quite a lot. Thank you very much, friends. Quidar sighs. Alright, but 3 months from now, or the moment the Prince Bernhard tells me it's no longer possible for the court to offer you safety without compromising its principles, you're on your own. No negotiations. This is the only deal I can strike with you. Take it or leave it. Now he just shrugs his head and grunts loudly. Tugs on his mask and stands up. That's Jack with me, big fella. I might have strong opinions about Penhard, but hell, I'm sitting on dynamite and I'll take what I can get. Who else in New York would you rather rely on? You want me to call the mayor? My opinions about the Prince aren't that bad. So, what do you good folks want from me? Who wants you dead? Starting interrogation with a tricky one. Wouldn't I like to know? Step on, Ginny. You seem to forget how to quid pro quo works. Wouldn't I like to know? Wouldn't cut it. What can I tell you? The warlocks, Agathon or whatever his name is, presumably dead. Tamaka MIA with Versailles in her back, so possibly killed in action by now. Hope the cook hidden in her office under the Venduin's skirt. Around the time they started having trouble, some rough streetwise kindred started hanging out at my usual spot. Didn't take me long to connect the dots. Wait, what is this connection between you and the other three? Ever since last year, folks started hiring us for various gigs. Some even tried to get to join their curries. All of these opportunities were all short-lived. However, the dialect of a tight-knit group acting for working for various employees made us fully aware. There's an intersect alliance in NYC. Kindred from both sides were often working for the same goals without knowing it. The moment we started figuring it all out, a cleanup crew went down. I had known some serious warlock boys sniffing out some of his own bad guard, but then poof, he disappeared. Then I lost contact with Hope and Tamaka, and Tamaka went AWOL. Hope they're doing fine, and they didn't snitch on me or anybody. They are, and they didn't even tell me you guys knew each other, so I think you're safe. Wait a second. You were milking them for intel, kiddo? I found a list of the names and Khan's remains. You could probably guess what they were worth. I get a picture, yeah, Christ almighty. I also heard it was just a freelance potential association, probably prepared by Carter Vindwand. My money is on being involved, but I smell bullshit. Have you got any idea who might be done? Who might have done the boss in? Any more clues? No. That's where you come in, friend. Investigating the murder scene, the way you know how. Tell us what you think. Guide Julie to the proper conclusion. Diallo sizes me up, scratches his head. Sure, whatever. I'll do my best. I'll try my best, kiddo. Lead the way. I'll drive you out there, or at least close as possible. I wouldn't want to be unwelcome deep in anarch territory. Just clean yourself up a bit, Jeannie. I had my upholstery cleaned earlier this week. ... After dropping off at the same place Catherine first introduced me to Mark, Vidal quickly drives away. And here we are. Swell, a classy closed room mystery. Let me take a look. He starts walking around the office, carefully taking in every element. So you're saying basically nobody you could kind of simply call Catherine Weiss and have her open sesame in our crib for you. Didn't know she sounded like it. Don't know if sure sounds like someone to me. Don't misunderstand, I only met her during the course of the investigation. Everybody's basically treating me like dirt whenever I go. I'm only acknowledged enough to legitimize their Lord Catherine. Now that's an abrupt interruption. I'm busy sharing, damn it. Excuse me? He points to the painting, the man oversees in the entire office. I met the murderer on the way. I met murder on the way. He has a mask like Castlerein. Very smooth. He looked, yet grim. Several bloodhounds followed him. He seems to have completely switched his mode, or modus operandi. Seeing the murder scene, he's now in his own little world, and his behavior has become more machine-like, erratic. I still don't follow. I never knew an old Irish cute who was Napoleonic era, but then again, I had no idea about his exact age, of course. So maybe that's when he lived or was born. Anywho, pay minimal attention to me, alright? Who am I to look here? Right. The one Lord Castlereagh, born at Robert Stewart, a British senator for foreign affairs at the beginning of the 19th century. Incredibly influential, incredibly hated. Ask one fella about Castlereagh and he'll tell you. He was a man who destroyed Napoleon for good. The man who sharpened British politics for age. The man who built foundation of European unity at Vienna. Ask for a fella and he'll tell you. He was the man who destroyed the Irish Parliament. The man who cracked down on the possibility of reform and supported the cavalry massacre of the peaceful protesters. He's spouting these facts like a computer. Is it a hint of detective photography from a photographic memory? I have to say, it's downright perverted for an Irishman to put up Karen's portrait in his office. Definitely proof that our victim was sick in the head. We need more evidence there. Probably idolized him too. Maybe identified with him, yeah. Even the possibility of Gawain and his like ilk adoring Jagos who tried to reach across the aisle and achieve the hard compromise. Too bad nobody ever remembers them well. I feel like I should say something, but I've got this nagging feeling in the back of my mind. So how did he die? How did he die? Committed suicide in the 1920s. His family took everything, sharp item away from him, but he was well dedicated. How did he do it? Precision mounting on from all sides. Deserved hate coming from all sides. Plain old overwork. Also might have gone nuts. Kept saying he saw ghosts. Otherworldly silhouettes were guiding him. Yada yada yada. An unpleasant feeling grows in my stomach. Also, there's rumors somewhere was threatening to expose him for homosexuality, having to choose between him being publicly denounced and ending it all by his own hand. He chose the latter. Well, that's just depressing, maybe, but the silver lining is it couldn't have happened to a nicer fella. He stopped above Caroline's corpse and laughs. Prosperity will never serve a noble graver than this. Here lies the bones of Casaran, stopped traveller and piss. And he kicks the bones with a little gleam, causing me to jump a little. Is he still under the influence? Isn't that tempering the crime scene? Kiddo, as far as I can see, the crime scene has been fucked with 3 times over. Can't really be ruined more than it already has. I agree, but looked about the same last time I saw it. Then it's already a total mess before you even got here, whatever. Standing behind the metal shutters of the windows, he abruptly changes topics. Light proof. Have you toyed with these? No, in general, I avoid machinery like that. It doesn't like me, and I don't like it. They don't like you? They don't work properly. It's like I give technology an analogy. Sometimes industrial cameras mess up my face. Sometimes I can't use my phone. You know, I think it'd be kind of useful, but it's just a curse. I see. You think these mines could have been the murder weapon? Yeah, I wondered about that. Yeah, I did entertain the possibility. Would make sense, wouldn't it? Let's say, for some reason, our stiff was standing there as the sun was rising. Maybe starting his poor old Khan looking for a soulmate to accompany him to the other side. Yeah, guy pushed a suicide by politics. Pretty old school romantic, yada yada. Or maybe it was a topol. Or maybe it was a freak accident. Or maybe it was predetermined. In any case, sunlight would have been preferred murder weapon, no? He takes off the mask and shoots a dignified smile. Well, that's just a theory anyway. Well, it sounds sound. Does it? Because I was spitballing. It's practically impossible to make certain now, kiddo. The more logistical final death would be damage to the heart, and that can easily be done without damaging the skeleton. And he sets off with a wink. Well, what is he playing at here? The safe. Anyone made it cracked yet? As far as I know, only Callahan had the code. The safe itself is pretty hard to crack. Watch me, kiddo. Presses an ear to the safe and begins rotating the dial. Stop clowning around. You're a safe cracker now? When you're cursed with a countenance as mine, and you desire a job, and you decide on a job as mine, you get good at being a jack of all trades. Yeah, but that sounds pretty hard. Last year, there's a random fella visiting a heritage museum. Alpha. He found a safe that hasn't been opened for 4 years. Not a single specialist. Not even a blacksmith could handle it. The man studied the numbering, listened closely to mechanism, and attempted more sensible combinations, and voila, the unthinkable happened. And that's just where your trusty instincts leads you. Too bad he found nothing but inside of old paint sheets. The metallic screeches. The door opens. I'll be damned. And it looks like we got the same old case here. A confidence. A few random papers scattered around. But for what's worth, the lock is obviously traced for mechanical manipulation. Probably recent too. Reeks of foul play. But what I don't know for sure, really. But what do we know for sure? I'm done here. You can take over. Another wink, another walk into the room direction. I look inside. Quiet, safe, suspicious. I happen to grab everything that is left inside the safe and hiding it in my person, then close the door. Nobody knows. He managed to crack it. When I turn around, he motions to me to come close to the sheet of paper lying on the desk. So yeah, kiddo, probably know the entire beeswax about Schrodinger's cat, so I'm not gonna bore you with that. But honestly, anything you could have appeared happened here. I read the text written on the empty page. This place is weird. It gives me chills. I think I think I'm okay. I've tried to record my own voice a bunch of times on different hardware, just to see if I can. It mostly comes out as noise. He nods his head and starts to scribble something down as something to continue blabbering on. The best strategy would be to make an educated guess about what happened here, then interrogate everyone about it. Maybe you'll take someone by surprise, drop a hook on them. The wiretap a chip in broken glass bowl on the floor. Kaiser's absolutely sure it belongs to Kaiser. Kaiser, the elusive information broker, the talk about the sea, finally getting exclusive nav on him. I understand. I think I need an idea about how to find him. Should I notify Quidar? Scribble takes longer than before. Oh yeah, you'll meet up with Quidar. You stay here. Says, yeah, I'll meet up with Quidar. You stay here. Maybe there's something that we're missing. You're cool, doll. You're going to be beyond his jurisdiction, so he'll try and stop you. Whatever you do, just give me a 10 minutes heads up, so I can get a relative safety, for sure. It's back into the chef's custody for me. See you around, Julie. Sorry for this old codger. Can I be more of a help? It was more than enough. Whatever, I got plenty. Thank you. See you around, D'Angelo. I've got a plan now. Now all I need to do is execute it as a clueless bystander. This guy will do. We're probably gonna stop the game here because we got 5 minutes and I've got stuff to do, sadly. So we're gonna save and exit. What night are we on? We're on night 8, so I'm guessing we're getting close to the end. Until next time, I hope you guys have a lovely day. I don't know what we're gonna be doing on the weekend. I need to think about that. Until then, hope you guys have a wonderful day and goodbye. Enjoy blah blah stuff. I need to get my throat a rest. See you guys next time. Goodbye.